Welcome on in. It is Saturday morning, April 4th, 2026, and you are now locked in to the most electrifying show in all of sports talk radio. It is the Barbershop. I am your host, G. Bush, leader of the Kool-Aid Mafia, member of, you already know what it is, 10 toes down and wrist up. We got a great show planned for you today. I'm very excited to come at you today and tell you about this story because this is today. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to get our storytelling on today. We're going to go, if you watch, I usually weave through a lot of my stuff. I usually get to a lot of things on a Saturday morning. And sometimes it's about receipts. Sometimes it's about calling people out. Sometimes it's about politics, or sometimes it's about economics or sports or religion or any of the different things that our society runs on. But today, I'm going to get into my storytelling bag, because if you realize that when you listen to every story and a bunch of other stories outside of what's going on in sports, you should know that sports is just a representation of a small part of the greater sociological economic impact of in general. It's society. And so what we want to do, and a lot of things that I do, is I try to examine who we are at the core of humanity, and I examine that specifically through the Cleveland Browns. I think that's one of the reasons why people watch this show and can watch this show and say, I'm not even a Browns fan. I may not be necessarily a Shedeur fan, or I might necessarily not even watch sports, but you could take something away from it, because everything that happens in sports is rooted in regular life that we see, even our stories. And one of the things that I've run across as I've been talking to people the last couple of days, and it's become out evident, the cool thing about speaking around and doing some digging and talking to people is the fact that they either confirm or deny what you've already thought in your own mind. See, that's the great point. The great point about, the way I come about things is I'm going to create my own ideas and thoughts. The information that I receive from other people and other sources and other people that tell me, it's either going to confirm or deny it based upon what I know behind the scenes. Never do I take that in a vacuum and say, this is the absolute truth, and this is because somebody told me that. Absolutely not. It's just one part of an overall case. And the standard of what I put into the case has to do with what I think. So, as I've been doing a little digging, the last couple of days. And some of the information, I've been uncovering is crazy work. Let me just tell you, this is deeper than I once thought. This is why I got to give you story time today. Boys and girls, this is one of these joints, man. If you ain't told nobody, you might, 500 people in here, tell them to get their popcorn ready. Tell them to go ahead and pull on back up in here, because I got, the plot has been uncovered. The plot has been uncovered. If you want to know why it seemed like people is crashing out, saying all this other stuff, I'm going to give you exactly the reason why. And the Browns done uncovered the plot. You know how sometimes you think people are oblivious to certain things? Oh, no. They know. It's almost like when you're an informant and your cover is blown, you're in the CIA, FBI, you working for and abroad. One of the worst things that could ever happen to you is that you're exposed as an undercover agent. Well, the Browns done uncovered the plot. Well, you listen to the Barbershop. We'll tell you what that plot is coming up. You already know what it is. Get that coffee ready. Get that coffee ready, because we're going to talk. You listen to G. Bush in the Barbershop. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. live from New Jersey, 10 tones down from Don Staley. Beautifully blessed. She came in 5 G Bush memberships. Thank you, beautifully blessed. Dog Pound, let's go. Spell Mo fuck. Dog Pound, go Browns. Speaking of, before we get off into anything, shout out to you guys for supporting it. Great reaction from the Final Cut show with me, Tyvis, and Earl. You guys can check that out every 6 p.m. 6 p.m. every Wednesday, you can check that out. Also, be watching out. In the next couple of days, for our members only, we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes sneak preview of what we got coming up on the channel. Me and Rosie been working overtime. We're going to give the members a sneak preview of the studio that we done put together. Yeah, it's time to come on out and tell you, bro. See, one of the things, before we get to it, one of the things that I always tell people is always invest in yourself. Always, I talk to a lot of young people. When I told people before that God told me to build an ark, I was like, remember, everything that I say, remember, I said, when you listen to the Barbershop, it reads as a chronological order book. And when I would be talking about the ark and everything, and people like, oh, that was a good analogy. Nah, I was literally talking about it. Because one of the things that I always told myself was, never forget that you always have to invest in yourself. If you're going to work for somebody else, if you're going to work for another company, and you're busting your tail, and you're doing a bunch of other things, you got to have some way or opportunity that you can control your own destiny. You know, my grandfather worked in a steel factory his whole life. And it came time to when he was done. And when it came time he was finished, he didn't even get no thank you. He did all the overtime, did all the extra stuff. No thank yous, no nothings. And I remember how he used to talk about the fact that his boss used to always say, and it stuck with my mom because she still tells me to this day, well, you know, George, my grandfather's name was William T. George. Well, you know, George, I know it ain't right, but that's just the way it is. And it always stuck with me. Because you could pour your whole life into something. What you own. You could pour your whole history into something. What is it that you are doing? If you work 8 hours a day, people say, G. Bush, I need your advice. I talk to kids. I go to schools. I go to penitentiaries. I go to churches. I go to Sunday schools. I go all over the place in the city of Cleveland to talk to kids. And they always say, how do you get to where you're going to go? How do I do this? What's your advice? And I always tell them, if you got to go work for somebody for 8 hours, you at least better work for yourself for 2 to 3. So one thing that we did is we said, we need to have an arc. And what we did, we reinvested. I do barbershop content right here, but we do a barbershop content a lot of different places. So we got a studio up and running. We will show you the behind the scenes look at what it looks like. We'll tell you about how it went down. And we got shows coming up, and they're live from a studio where we can come up with content and do a lot of different things. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the different content. You know, it ain't gonna just be no remotes. We do well doing this, but we also have some things coming up, some big interviews coming up, some massive interviews coming up, some really exclusive big joints coming up, and it's gonna be something you want to be a part of. So we appreciate the members out there. We appreciate you. Let's get off into this situation. So remember how I used to talk about the Cleveland Browns and how it used to operate with Kevin Stefanski. When there's a regime change, you get a lot of things that tend to happen. When you get into those regime changes, you start to see the different ways that they're going about it, the different ways that they've put and formulated a plan. See, the Cleveland Browns figured out last year. The Browns figured out last year they figured it out where it was all going, where it was all coming from. They realized, like I told you before, that the guy that was doing a bunch of the stuff was Kevin Stefanski. Now, it's just not enough to uncover the plot. You know, we've already covered that in detail. But the new thing is, what do you do when you understand what the plot is, and how do you combat it now? Because if you listen to all of the conversations, if you listen to every question they've been asking, if you've listened to all of these different questions that the media asks from the quarterback situation to saying Todd Monkeys might not be here in 29 when the stadium opened, to Jimmy Haslam and why does Jimmy Haslam have, his family members here, and what all of these different things, right? If you really sit back and realize, wow, these guys aren't asking these questions in order to be forthright and to figure out what's going on with the team. These are loaded questions. 9 times out of 10, they are storyline questions that it's like, oh, I got you on this one. Oh, I got you on this one. I got you on this one. And a lot of people don't do a really good job of being able to diagnose what people are doing to you and then have a plan to stop it. The Cleveland Browns have closed ranks. Let me just tell you, the Cleveland Browns front office, coaching staff, players have closed rank. See, one of the things that they do and how they get you is they separate you, right? See, communication is what keeps people on the same page. When I was coming up, my mom and dad did a really good job of always having the same communication. If my mom said something, then my dad was echoing it. If my dad said something, then my mom was echoing it. We tried like kids our best to try to put a little, but Dad, can you tell my, nah, one band, one sound. So there was no divide and conquer. There was no situation where they were not on a unified front. And to be on a unified front, you need to have a level of communication. The Cleveland Browns brought these folks in and told them, this is how this is going to work. We are aware of what happened last year. We are aware of how this thing gets out of control. Because what you guys don't understand is, if you can't control the narrative on the quarterback and the position players, that's the first spiral to not controlling what happens with you. Let me drill down on that. Maybe it went over people's heads. Maybe it went over your head. The reason why it's important, and the Cleveland Browns have identified this, is because if they can pull apart and pick apart the decision-making, the quarterback is just the quarterback is just the start of it. Because the quarterback is the representation of the decisions that you made as a coach or a general manager. And if they can go after the quarterback and figure out and get you talking about quarterback, you won't even be focused on what's really going on. You won't be focused. You'll be so busy putting out fires about the quarterback that you won't have time, energy, and effort to do what was really actually going to put you in a position to make your football team successful. And that's the ploy. If you notice, everything is quarterback, because the quarterback is the gateway to control. If I can control the narrative on the quarterback, the most important person on the field, I then by proxy can tell you how you're going to end up. Because the first thing they'll say is the quarterback is attached to the coach. Whose fault is it? Well, the general manager picked the quarterback. If I could attack the quarterback and say he's terrible, the next step is who went and got the quarterback? They've already done it with Deshaun Watson. You see how this works? I'm going to bring this back around, but look, we got to start with that. Understand that everything that happens in the question that goes down is not about whether or not they're asking a good faith argument. It's about, can I control the narrative and the gateway to get you together? Now, let's turn our attention to the media and Exhibit A. A lot of these dudes, it's getting cartoony. It's getting real cartoony. Why is it that they're I done heard Ty Simpson conversations. I done heard a lot of that extra stuff with all these other dudes. Let me go to Exhibit A. Anthony Lyman. Ken Carman. I think Ken Carman is on Black Hoodie Ken today. He's showing you a little bit about the whole thought process that people going back and forth, not about whether you right on the merits of the argument. It's the fact that you guys are mad that somebody's holding you accountable. Now, remember what I told you. When it doesn't look like it's going to be truthful, it's going to be, there's nothing here to see. I know we said this before, but listen, it's a great opportunity for the, look, I know we slandered. I know we did this. I know we've been saying this, but nothing to look at over here. That's water under the bridge, got an opportunity. No. I told y'all what they gonna do. Let's start with this.
I know you guys don't want to hear this. You think it's a grand conspiracy. You think all 32 owners got into a room and singled out one player and one player only. Again,
well,
I call that
my theories on that before.
I think that's fan fiction. I think you sound silly. I think you just got to get over it and admit the process was screwed up. He botched the entire thing. And now, who cares? He's got an amazing opportunity to start for one of the 30.
You know, who cares? Who cares? This is where we get to. They know it's false. It's the Wizard of Oz. They understand that everything that they're saying, and this is the thing that you got to sit up and take a look at. They understand every single thing that they're saying is patently false. And it doesn't matter. You notice? It doesn't matter. The problem that people have is the media can say what they want. And if it's wrong, who cares? If it's right, who cares? We'll just go back and do another story tomorrow. What's the consequences? Zero. He just told you.
I think that's fan fiction. I think you sound silly. I think you just got to get over it and admit the process was screwed up. He botched the entire thing. And now, who cares? He's got an amazing opportunity to start for one of the 32 NFL teams. And you should be feeling blessed that he's even in that position for a 5th-round pick that also played as poorly as he did last year.
You should be blessed. You should feel blessed. That was good. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. That was a good one right there. That boy good. That boy good, boy. I'll tell you about that. Let me just sip my cooler. That boy good. You should be blessed to even be in the league, you 5th-round pick. Remember I told you about Brown Girl 877. Don't worry, we're going to get it. The curtain is pulled. This is performative. This is very performative. We're going to get to it.
Here. That's an amazing opportunity that Shedeur Sanders has. And I think it looks really bad if you're sitting there dwelling on other guys. I mean, they're sitting here every day talking about how bad Jackson Dart is and Tyler Shook. And you'll see Shedeur is going to be the one guy to emerge. Maybe he will. But right now, it's not looking great. It has not been off to a good start in his NFL career. And
let me show y'all real quick. Let me just give y'all that heads up. Let me bring that back a little bit.
Right now, it's not looking great. It is not.
You see Ken's face? See Ken's face right there? He tried to keep a straight face. He can't even keep the straight face. It's all a ruse. This is all, guys. This is all, this is the Wizard of Oz. Today, when you walk away from this, I hope I do it and do a great job of breaking this down. These people ain't crazy. I know these folks. What they are doing is performative. Ken, look at his face. Ken is looking at him like, I know you ain't doing this. You funny, bro. Right? I know you doing that. They want you to think that. Because if they can get you riled on back up every 2 seconds and come on back in here, guess what? It works. Do you think, why do you think all the talking points are the same? I would play Ken's rebuttal to this, and we've seen Ken's rebuttal. His rebuttal was, hey, we talk about people patting the football, right? Mendoza was patting the football. Why did Shedeur pat the football and it was cool, but then Mendoza does it, it ain't a problem? Guys, the devious part about it is they actually know that you're going to take it because it is that has undertones to it. They hope you take it that way, because if you take it that way, it increases the reach. It increases the engagement. I'm just showing you, this is troll game. This is troll. I'm going to just keep getting, let it go, G. Bush.
Been off to a good start in his NFL career. And you just having to go off on Fernando Mendoza and other draft prospects to make you feel better about your situation, it's just going to make you look, kind of small. I know you guys don't want to hear this. You think it's a grand conspiracy. You think all 32 owners got into a room and singled out one player and one player only. Again, I call that
my theories on that before.
I think that's fan fiction. I think you sound silly. I think you just got to get over it and admit the process was screwed up. He botched the entire thing. And now, who cares? He's got an amazing opportunity to start for one of the 32 NFL teams. And you should be feeling blessed that he's even in that position for a 5th-round pick that also played as poorly as he did last year. That's an amazing opportunity that Shedeur Sanders has. And I think it looks really bad if you're sitting there dwelling on other guys. I mean, they're sitting here every day talking about how bad Jackson Dart is and Tyler Shook. And you'll see Shedeur is going to be the one guy to emerge. Maybe he will. But right now, it's not looking great. It has not been off to a good start in his NFL career. And you just having.
Look at Ken's face. This is WWE, fellas. This is wrestling. Big time entertainment. This big time, guys. They've been pulling the wool over your eyes. The Browns have discovered it. These folks don't even believe this. That's the devastating part about it. They have already done the calculus and understand that what is the opposite? If we can't get people to say, I'm going to be positive about it, the best next thing is to be negative about it in engagement form. Guys, this is like somebody said, this is Saturday Night Live skit. And if you go come at it with this, with the thought process, why do you think when we talk about what he'll come up with, because he named a specific person that Coach Prime retweeted, and you'll hear how I'm like, bro, what does this have to do with anything?
To go off on Fernando Mendoza and other draft prospects to make you feel better about your situation, it's just going to make you look. It's going to make you look kind of small.
That was painful. That's painful, man. Speaking of, let's continue doing on this one. This is what they were talking about. Hova 76. They mentioned him specifically. Lima did. Shout out to them, courtesy of 92 through the pan. Who is they? Yeah. Hey, you heard that one too. Who is they? Shedeur Sanders was criticized for weeks leading up to the 2025 NFL draft for patting the ball before every throw. He needs to stop patting the ball. The patting the ball stuff won't work in the NFL. All the patting the ball will lead to sacks in the NFL. Shedeur does not have an NFL quality release. He pats the ball before every throw. He'll never succeed in the NBA with that habit. This was being printed all over the place leading up to the NFL draft. I opened X today, and here it was. Top trending story. Fernando Mendoza dominates at the Indiana Pro Day. I pulled up the videos from his performance, and guess what? Jumped off the screen. He pats the ball before every throw. I have not seen one article. I have not seen one quote, an anonymous GM. I have not seen one statement from an unnamed NFL source regarding his slow delivery or his patting the ball. You folks are not ready to have a difficult conversation about how the racist sports media in America handles black quarterbacks coming out of college versus the way they handle white quarterbacks coming out of college. Now, this was what he put out on Twitter. And, you know, I heard a lot of people reach out and do the same thing and talk about that too. And the thing that you got to realize is when you talk about how this whole thing was put together, you realize that a lie is just easier to just continue to go with because most of the people that are in the game that's doing it are paid actors. Hold on, you don't remember, you didn't hear what I said. They are paid actors. Let me actually give you this. In what other industry can you be named an insider and you don't watch film, you never played, you don't necessarily have a high education level outside of the industry? There's no gatekeepers. There's no industry that says, hey, if you want to be a doctor, you got to be board certified. If you want to be a lawyer, you got to go through the bar. If you want to be an architect or engineer, there's a certain level of schooling you have to get to. In this entertainment place, there is no barrier to becoming a sports talk radio host. I argue journalism is on the way out too. So there is no checks and balances. And you don't get extra credit points for telling the truth. Once somebody always told me, one of my marketing teachers always said, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And the NFL and journalists actually had to figure out, oh, wow, if we kind of just say this, I mean, what's the downside? As long as we keep getting them clips and touching down, what's the problem? You realize it isn't much of a problem. Now, watch how they admit that, yeah, we basically said that Mendoza is cool. They take and pick who they like, and they put him up there. I'm not saying Mendoza can't be a great quarterback, but does Mendoza have flaws? Yes, he does. But it also bears out that he didn't have the same level of stats as Shedeur Sanders. It also bears out that he does some of the same things that every quarterback does, like pat the ball. But remember, they want you to be enraged, because I can give you another example in terms of patting the football where he passed the football, but Mendoza does it, and here's what it is. He shows up after being accused of being lazy and being in the building all year. He's being lazy. Does he want to be somebody great? Who does he want to be? Does he want to put all of the work in? All of a sudden, he's in the building. They tell you the guy you propped up last year ain't in the building. And now all of a sudden, oh, it's no big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. You know, whatever. But let me ask you, the receipt king is here. Why is it that last year and the year prior to that, the best defensive player on the planet who broke the sack record, why every single summer when he wasn't at voluntary workouts, you said he wasn't a leader? Which is it? If Dylan Gabriel don't got to be there, but you had the same take on Myles Garrett the last 3 years, what are we talking about? Because it's manufactured. Watch them tell you now that they know it's manufactured. And they know they say it just to get under your skin because it works.
Pro day.
Yeah.
You brought up Fernando Mendoza's pro day.
Yeah.
In the videos of the pro day, was making great throws. He was patting the ball.
Yeah.
Remember that was such a big storyline with Shedeur and his pro day?
Oh, how could I forget?
Massive storyline. And so they're like, Fernando Mendoza's patting the ball. Those are all going to get picked off. He's taking too much time. Why are you guys not saying Fernando Mendoza's going to go in the 5th round, Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
Don't look at me.
What? Chris?
Chops, it's a fair.
Is it really? Because people were then going back at them like,
you see, I told you guys, when they're caught, it's always, oh, but don't let that go. Like that. No. Listen, I know I try to railroad you. I know I said 17 things and I continue to say them underhanded and backhanded. I understand that I continue to do these little sly things, but when I'm called on it, just why can't we all get along? Why do we have to be so divisive? Why is it that I can't? I mean, it's unproductive. It's unproductive to be talking about what happened. He has a chance now after you done sullied his name. You see, this is why I like you guys. You guys are funny. I told them, all of them, I said, these new folks is different. These new folks different over here. They ain't going to let you forget. They ain't going to let you forget. And guess what? The Browns know that. You see, when we come up in a little bit later on, I'm going to tell you what the consequences are for this behavior. Because behind the scenes, ooh-wee, they got the names down. I didn't know the list was that extensive. They got the names. They got the names of the culprits. They got the evidence. They got the loot, like Carmen Sandiego. They got the loot, the warrant, and the crook. They knew who was leaking information. They know who been spewing propaganda. And guess what? They done froze them all the way out the game. They done froze them. Hey, they done froze them all the way out the game. Cats ain't even getting their questions answered. Emails ain't been returned. All that little access you had before, it's getting dark and spooky out here. It's getting dark early. And they got all the names. You notice this? I'm just telling you. You notice how all of a sudden some people done magically seen the light? Some people done made a business decision. They didn't, hey, listen, the writing on the wall. AB and Monkey ain't playing. I need to walk this back. Where Tony Grossi at? Tony been quiet. Tony and Chops, y'all been quiet. They done, let me slide to the left. Boom. 2 hops this time. Boom. Slide to the left. Boom. 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 They Cupid shuffling all the way from them narratives. I got to go. Notice them.
Guys, be for real.
No, I say it's fair from the sense of, like, yeah, we made way too big a deal of Shedeur doing it.
The patting the ball yourself.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sure did, buddy. Sure did. We all made it. We all. I understand doing a job, but at some point you should have integrity and morals about yourself. No. I mean, thank you, Phyllis. We appreciate you. Let me tell you why this happens. And let me give you a nice little, let me get you this. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me get to this. You see, now that we've established two things, we understand that the Cleveland Browns understand that these guys spew propaganda. They also understand that public sentiment puts pressure on ownership. Public sentiment is just like when you were in medieval times and you're the king. When you are the king, there's a couple of things that get you up out of there. If you ain't got no bread and it's a famine, you're done. When people get hungry after a while, anything will start moving. If you got to a point where people feel that you can't protect them, and in the walls of the confines of the castle, they're gonna ask somebody else to come in. You govern us because we need to be protected. And if you don't give us a beautiful distraction, that's why they got gladiator games. You're in trouble. So the media understands one thing. I can't really get you up out of here because I don't really have a pool. The owner controls that. But you know what the owner looks at? Looks at polls. He looks at revenue. He looks at newspaper articles. And if I could get the media and I could get the people whipped up vicariously, I'm the power behind the king. I'm the shadowy organization. I'd argue that media outlets can get you put in a situation or taking you out. The problem is we found you out. Let's give you this about how this is happening and how if you just put it in the context of everything. And this is also why they tell you, when I came into the game, never talk politics. You know why I told you that? Because if I talk about it, that means it's a chance somebody might actually be educated about what you're doing. Talking politics, why would that make a problem with you? I don't care who you vote for. I'm talking about the narrative behind it. Because people vote against their interests all the time. Watch how the industry uses this, and the media is the media. Don't just think it's sports. It's the media, and it works over here too. Here we go. That part. Catch up. This is the most important part here. Remember, this is big time wrestling. Bring that back. I need you to dial in on this. You think that these folks actually believe the stuff they're saying? No, they don't. This is a ruse. Remember, look, I loved it. Hey, when they come into that place and tell you, hey man, they know how many clicks your story done got. Now we living 30, 45 second clips on YouTube or Twitter. It's what we're playing right now. And it's that way for a reason. And I couldn't have said it better. It's all contrived, manipulated BS. I'm going to pay a person to act like they love this idea. I'm going to pay another person to act like they hate the idea. They argue, go back and forth, and in 2 days, you argue about something else. Case in point, we just showed you arguing about Shedeur Sanders, how's about we just argue about Ty Simpson?
You want if you absolutely had to make a pick at number 6? Who would you want, Mary Kay?
Well, I'm just going to follow through with what I told a few people at these meetings, and you guys are going to think I'm probably crazy. But I've watched film now, and I've thought through it, and I think I would actually take a chance on Ty Simpson at number 6. I think I would do that because I've seen enough over the years.
This is the face of somebody going off script. This is the face of somebody being like, whoa, where did you jump off the roof with this one from? Because if you ask yourself after you listen to this, do you really feel like she likes Ty Simpson? Do you think that she's saying this like and really thinks he can play football? What? Listen to the tone. I always tell you, listen, look.
Meetings, and you guys are going to think I'm probably crazy. But I've watched film now, and I've thought through it, and I think I would actually take a chance on Ty Simpson at number 6. I think I would do that because I've seen enough over the years where if you're not 100% sure about a player at another position, then why not take a chance on a quarterback? I said that in 22 about Malik Willis. Take a chance on Malik Willis and see what you can develop him into. And that's how I feel about the quarterbacks in round 1, because they don't cost all that much money. And if you happen to hit on one, then you can have a quarterback on a rookie contract that might turn into something for you. So I like to take that.
So here's how you don't believe that, because you had a rookie quarterback who's on a less contract than Ty Simpson would be if you drafted him at 6. So why don't you have the same concept of seeing what you got with the guy that's cheaper than the dude that you want to go with, and he doesn't have a good track record of success and only playing 15 games? Yeah. You don't believe that. Remember what I told y'all before. They want you to believe that maybe they have gone mad. No, they haven't gone mad. They know exactly what's going on. Like, when you said that, people like me are going to be like, hey, I can't believe that you said Ty Simpson. Let's talk about it. Then everybody goes on Twitter and clicks on everything, and that's just what it is. The part that Ken's face is saying, I didn't know you was engaging in this game too. I did. Look, he's like, I knew it might have been Lima, but I didn't know you was engaging in the game too. When did you sign up?
Swing at the plate at a quarterback in the first round if it's there. Now, it's a tough call. It is definitely a tough call on him because there are plenty of question marks. But there are plenty of question marks about a lot of other guys that you might take there too. So I know I'll probably get a lot of blowback or pushback on that, but I don't care about that. I've said that about other quarterbacks over the years that I think they should have taken, and sometimes it turns out that it would not have been the worst decision in the world.
At number 6.
And wait a minute.
Mary Kay, Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure what he's going to be. But if you like him well enough to take him at 24, then you probably would have to grab him at number 6 because there's a good chance he's not going to make it to 24. So if you think he's a guy that you can bring in and develop and see what he turns into, and I guess everybody would say, well, that would mean the end of Shedeur. I don't think that necessarily does mean the end of Shedeur. I don't think that. I know people would disagree with me on that, but I think that Ty is going to need some time because he has only started 15 games. But I like a lot of what I've seen in those 15 games from a decision-making standpoint, from an arm standpoint, from an agility standpoint. So I probably would take him there. Who would you take?
Not Ty Simpson.
Ooh. Now remember, understand this. This is why, remember what I said, you've been found out? You've been found out? Let's take exhibit C right here.
State unequivocally that you're not trading Miles Garrett?
I'd say this, Mary Kay. Miles is a career Brown. He is one of the faces of our organization. I think we've been very clear, both past and present, in terms of our feelings on that. So I understand all the questions. I'll be honest, I don't really want to waste a ton more breath on the topic.
Do you know what it takes for a general manager to tell a reporter, I don't want to waste no more of my breath on that topic? Next question. Ooh. You see, the thing about plots is when you're actually exposed. What you're seeing in real time, and I'm just being honest with you, what you're seeing in real time is people trying to find any sort of crack, crevice, ledge, footholding to stay afloat. What do you mean by that, G. Bush? Andrew Berry is well aware of who was leaking information. Andrew Berry is well aware of what individuals had that information leaked to. Andrew Berry is well aware that when Kevin Stefanski got fired, a large contingency of the media said he should be fired too. They even insinuated that Kevin should be his boss. They also insinuated that one of the reasons Kevin's got let go is because of the Deshaun Watson contract, and the Watson contract destroyed everybody. They also insinuated that it wasn't Kevin's fault because Shedeur was just too dumb or lazy to play good football last year. Now, when you are saying these things in the public sphere in real time, you do know that they're going to hear these things. You do understand that makes your job more difficult because there's nobody else in the building that you can rely on for any solid information. So what happens when you are given information for a long period of time and you don't have a foundation of football built around that? What happens when the information is taken? Follow me here. If I'm in a game and I just know based on what I'm writing is based on what somebody telling me, when people stop telling you stuff, what do you have to fall back on? If it's not your playing experience, if it's not your film work, if it's not watching tape, if it's not understanding the game of football, if it's not doing scouting, if it's not being around and understanding what plays look like and how, if you get that voice taken away that's telling you what to write, what happens next? You start saying, I'm going to take Ty Simpson at 6. You'll start to say Malik Willis for $30 million is worth it. You'll start to actually say, why can't we get Kyler Murray? Because what happens is the foundation and principles of what your football knowledge is and sports knowledge has now been reduced to things that you don't necessarily know or have taken the time to develop. So when that rug is pulled, your foundation is built on soft sand. It's not built on rocks. It's not built on granite. It's not built on a solid stone foundation that says no matter what Andrew Berry or who tell me in that organization, I always have an eye to understand and to put things together in context based on what I see, what I know, my experience level. And what you're saying today is if you don't have any information, just throw things out there. Just throw it out there. Let me bring you to this. Let me just show you something. Let me show you something real quick. Where is that? This article was in It was in Forbes today. This was in Forbes. We're able to pull this up. Watch this. When the Australian newspaper celebrated its 60th anniversary this year, its founder, Rupert Murdoch, foreshadowed the death of the print newspapers within 15 years. He wanted to say 15 years with a lot of luck, declared the media mogul and chairman emeritus of News Corp in Sky interview, much to the chagrin of his employees. It's an uncomfortable prediction for those in already struggling industry. In the past month, Australia's newsrooms have continued to shrink. Big name journalists have been talking and taking redundancies across metropolitan, regional, and mastheads. Workplace discontent is also high. The job cuts following hundreds of journalists striking over pay during the Paris Olympics. Social media has also grabbed the headlines and the eyeballs. Global trends also show us worrying signs for legacy media. In Britain, recent data released by media regulator Ofcom showed a generational shift. Remember what I always tell you. Culture, generation, it's the trends. It's the corporate. Remember what we talk about. We just don't talk football over here. I get it. Maybe you wanted to talk. All right. Listen, we trying to give you the story here. It's the shift that people have to watch. The climate moved. Therefore, you have to shift and pivot your position to stay relevant in what we're doing. What you're seeing in a lot of places is not the fact that these people are crazy. This is survival mode. They have to do this. They have to. Global trends also show worrying signs for legacy media in Britain. Recent data released by media regulator Ofcom showed a generational shift, with more people getting their news online than from TV for the first time since the 1960s, with the exception of election coverage. The annual surveys also show social media dominating audience share over news publishers' websites. The University of Oxford's Reuters Institute annual digital news report, released in June, paints the picture and paints the same picture. It is found that over 47 countries, news use was fragmenting across platforms and outlets. Even social media are disrupted. A wave of new online platforms is taking greater audience share from what we are now termed legacy social media sites. Have I not been telling you this since day one? When we examine and people ask me to do a deep dive into what's going on with the media, why is it like this? I've already told you this, but again, I said that all over the place, but I'm giving you the details. See, this is why it's different over this place. Y'all can do all that screaming and talking. I'm trying to do some educating. These are the receipts. I didn't do the study. I'm just showing you what it is. Let's continue to move on. Meanwhile, the proportion of news consumers, 22%, whose main news source is news websites, has fallen 10% since 2018. Instead, digital short form videos and online news explainers from influencers are increasingly popular, especially with younger audiences. TikTok and YouTube news use is also increasing, and they are ideal mediums for video content. In some instances, social media influencers have greater audience trust levels than established mastheads. Let that sink in. The consumer has chosen to identify what independent. Does it sound familiar? I've been telling you all this for forever. This ain't for everybody. I get it. In some instances, social media influencers have a greater audience trust level than established mastheads. Media news trust varies by brand. But in a world of troubled with misinformation, overall trust in Australia media sits at a worrying 40%. This is in Australia. This ain't any, the United States is even lower. So remember, we go back to the video. When the publisher says, yeah, you did a nice little story, that was cool, you got 5 clicks. Even if you're a regular journalist, if you want to have some integrity, if you want to be a person that just tells this calls balls and strikes, you're in a climate today where balls and strikes don't get clicks. Sound information don't get clicks. Level-headed thought process don't get clicks. So what you're forced to do, if you are a journalist or you are a legacy media member, you're forced to play the new game their way, or you get forced out. Because the bottom line still speaks. If a media influencer and a YouTube channel has more views, has more credibility, has more loyalty than the news outlets, how do you compete? There's 1 or 2 ways you can go about it. You can continue to sit there and not do it, or you can turn yourself into a person that also can deliver hot takes. Hence, people's faces when they say, wow, you joined the game too? The game is the game always. Let's continue on and finish it. It's all about the demographics. Young people in particular are increasingly turning to social media for their news. Ask anyone under 30 when they last read a newspaper. Generational Z, 18 to 26 years old, 2/3 rely on social media as their main news source. Meta's Instagram is their preferred platform. For other age groups, 1 in 2, 49% of Australians say they use social media for news, a fraction behind 56% for TV. Place a life kid. Can you put that back up for me, Rosie? Let's get to that. We don't gravitate towards disingenuous media in 2026. That lie. Because I said it. Because I said so. That stuff is played out. What you're seeing is when you get these conversations and you put it into context and you put it into the data that is being presented to you guys, it makes perfect sense now, doesn't it? You still can get you will get stories like this because you have to have stories like this. Or what are you going to come on and say? Shedeur saying is, hey, they might be good, they might not be good. We'll see. You're going to give opportunity. No. That's not going to get you seen. So that's why when they all say, you guys all know you got to look at Ty Simpson, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. No, you're saying I need you to talk about Ty Simpson because it gives good farm engagement.
Far and away the guy. It's not a strong class at quarterback, but, and I know you guys already know this, you got to keep an eye on Ty Simpson and then you got to keep an eye on Ty Simpson in Cleveland, and he's going to continue to gain steam as we get closer to the draft because people are starting to pick up on what I just picked up on in Indianapolis during the combine. The Browns are in love with him, I think. I believe that they are fascinated by him. Obviously, the relationship with Todd Monken plays a part in that. I'm worried that they take him at 24, but I'm also probably, for their case, more worried that another team catches on and takes him before that. So don't be surprised if he ends up sneaking into the first round, even if I don't necessarily think he's quite a first-round talent.
The Browns are in love with Ty Simpson? Oh, man. Really? They're in love with? I didn't know. They're really in love with Ty Simpson? No, my good sir. No, good sir. I have 2 seats. Under no circumstances are they in love with Ty Simpson. when you look at the way Andrew Berry and Todd Monken and the Cleveland Browns have moved and rotated, the messaging is clear. What you're seeing right now is a very pivotal point. And I'll prove this, and I'll show you why it is a pivotal point. This is D-Day for a lot of people. This is Terminator Judgment Day, right? This is what you're fighting for. I'm going to tell you like this. When Shedeur Sanders, got here and there was a lot of extra stuff and people was like, I'm on one side, I'm on another side or whatever. That was early in the game. But I noticed what Coach Prime was talking about when he asked that reporter, what was you doing when they was running my son's name through the ground? You didn't stop him. You didn't stand up and say, whoa, that's out of pocket. We talk about football conversation, but the character stuff, no, we're not going to do that. He said, well, I tried. He said, no, you didn't try hard enough. Here's where we are in a very precarious situation. There are going to be people who have to push. You already know where you're at right now. You done already chose what side you on. And when it comes to certain people like Prime, we already know where you're at. And the scary part about it is, what if the general manager and the owner then already picked a side? If they've already picked a side and the bet and the gamble on Shedeur Sanders works out, where does that leave you? It leaves you on the outside looking in with no blanket. Because when you say there was a quarterback and he's a franchise quarterback, you know what that means? It means that if your guys are just upset right now because you got to sit around and wait for well-off media to come in the room, you think that was bad? What you think is going to happen when if you're the franchise quarterback? That is the crux of it, guys. The pushback is, where does that leave me if it's wrong? People always ask me, well, G. Bush, you talk about Shedeur all the time. You talk about Shedeur all the time. Why is it? What happens if Shedeur is gone? What are you going to do? I give him Exhibit C. I'm a football player. This is the way our mentality is. It's like how the way Phil Taylor talks about it. It shows you perfectly about the mentality of it. See, you guys don't understand. I didn't talk to people about Shedeur. I didn't talk to people about his case. I didn't talk to him about what the expectation level is. And even the people the closest to him say there has never been a guarantee that Shedeur Sanders was going to be given anything. We never asked for nothing like that. We compete. We work out. We go do our thing and let the best man win. Phil Taylor said the same thing. Let's see what he's talking about. This is very easy for me.
Be surprised.
Yes.
And hurt or
no.
Now look, he says, let's preface this. Josh Cribbs asked Phil Taylor, would you be surprised if Deshaun Watson won the quarterback competition?
Would you be surprised?
Yes.
And hurt or
no. I'll be surprised. I'll be proud. But at the same time, I always Shedeur was the starter at the end of the season last year. I think he should be the starter going into this year, and it should be up to him to lose it.
Right.
So during his offseason, you know what I'm saying, if Deshaun has a better offseason and Deshaun is back to being healthy and looking like he was, when we paid him the money to come from Houston, then so be it.
So be it. Ain't nobody. That's the thing they can't wiggle out of. Ain't nobody over this way said we ducking no smoke and somebody about to get everything. We told you what you was putting out was propaganda and a lie. Talk about it was going to be a competition. It wasn't. You try to tell us, oh, well, we all know that if he would have been doing some of the same things these other folks is doing, you would have been flipping out. But guess what? This is the crazy thing that they know. It's wild work. It's wild work. They are orchestrating and blocking the plot in real time. And they dropping jewels on you. And it's going over heads. Watch this. They are aware of all of the stuff that was being said. Every single thing that was put out by anonymous sources back in the day, over the last year, has been debunked by people that work for the Browns or play for the Browns in real time. They've written every single talking point out and then systematically went to debunk it. Unsolicited, one by one. You don't believe me? Let's go ahead through the timeline. One of the major things that people tried to say was Shedeur Sanders, nobody else wanted him. Nobody else was interested. Nobody else was doing nothing. He was 5th round, nobody in the league. The first opportunity Todd Monken had on camera was, hey, we know you know we tried to draft you. Strike one. That talking point died a painful death. Imagine you coming up with that propaganda, and the first thing that the coach says to him is, we tried to draft you. Whoop! That talking point is gone. All of a sudden, every player that played for the Browns, Kevin got a raw deal. And Kevin got a raw deal. Kevin needs a quarterback. Kevin. You try to play the victim role, and then systematically, every single player that the Browns came out with said, this dude been fraudulent. Man, I don't even think he know what he's doing. That got to hurt your soul. You think that's a coincidence? Shedeur Sanders. Y'all told just a few weeks ago, they questioned whether or not he wants to truly be great. They questioned, does he want to watch film? Doesn't watch film that much. But Dylan Gabriel was the computer, leader, mature, all the above. All the above, right? Unsolicited, Todd Monken comes in and says, seen Shedeur in here. Be seeing him all the time. The owner, seen Shedeur, man. Shedeur been lifting weights. I've seen him. It's the owner. It's the coach. Then unsolicited, he says, I ain't seen Dylan. They already had the talking points written down. I said, oh my goodness. These folks that sat up in the meeting and systematically went to the approach and be like, I say, why would you unsolicited say that? You know why? They were signaling, yeah, we know you was getting told a bunch of information, but let's show you how this is going to work. Everything that you said, we are going to discredit in real time. And what that does is it's a really crazy signal. I know that you know that we know what you've been trying to get off, and it ain't going to work. Let me ask about Myles Garrett contract. I'm tired of wasting my breath on that. Good gracious. I know Tyvus ain't lying. Waiting on Bucky for Shedeur. I told people like this. It's getting late early. And the calculus is this. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna form any engagement when you've been shown that everything you've been saying has been wrong since inception? It's all one big game. And before you can try to get mad and debunk it, they keep coming with another story. It's another thing that they got to get. You got to get another story. They ain't even comfortable. They trying to figure it out. Because here's the thing. The Browns done told people. Let me just tell y'all this. You know, I be talking a little something. I be talking to some folks. Remember what I said yesterday? Last week? Browns looking for a couple of people to play ball. What I say, play ball. Browns looking to rebrand. The hashtag New Cleveland is a thing. They're looking for people to rebrand. By the way, t-shirts on the way. Just let y'all know that right quick. Y'all, yeah. Don't be stealing their idea. They're not going to support it. Don't you go out there trying to get the hashtag New Cleveland. They're not going to support it because it came from an organic place. It came from an organic place over here. Don't try that. But they're looking for people that want to play ball. If you was on the outside looking in the last regime, maybe you want to be in the inner circle in this one. By the way, I'm not talking about myself though. I do opinion pieces over here. I'm in the barbershop. I'm independent. I'm gonna just tell you how I feel about it. So we ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the legacy. Let me tell you about the legacy. They're looking for some people that want to play ball. If you was over that side with Kev, who want to be over here with Todd? Todd looking for a couple good people. Looking for a few good reporters that want to talk some football. I ain't going to say no names. But notice, I'm going to give y'all a little hint. Who the people that ain't on the internet crashing out? There's certain people that's kind of quiet right now. Certain people that got all level-headed, right? Certain people have been having, they done walk back some stuff. Maybe they might have had a conversation or two. Maybe they had a conversation with some folks up top. Matter of fact, maybe they want to play football. So it's out there. I'm going to be interested to see who going to play ball. Y'all going to notice it too. Y'all probably notice it before me. Like you going to see you going to see the cut and switch up in a minute. It'll come back around. You'll see it. Steph Shay, you funny. You go, hey, listen, hey, you going to see, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of level-headed takes. The takes going to get really nuanced. They're going to really get in their prognosticating journalistic bag. You're going to be seeing a lot of cats that, like, I'm telling you, bro. Because they're looking for a few good men. I'm just talking. I just talking on a Saturday, man. I know it might be for everybody, 2,438 people. I'm just talking on a Saturday. I know we didn't get to it. Hey, they're not breaking it down like this. You're not breaking it down like this, man. This is all first verse. This is all first verse. I'm telling you. Let's get to this. Let me get this. Let me give you an example to this. You know, when I look at the way things go for the Browns, right? When I look at how things move, this whole thing reminds me about the way life moves in stories. Some of you might be young enough to not know what the Wizard of Oz. Some of you definitely don't even know what the Wiz. Shout out to the Wiz. It's kind of crazy. But the Wizard of Oz obviously is, you know, one of those stories and tales that we've learned from childhood. And it's a classic story. It's a classic movie. It has Americana put all over it. And the thing about the Wizard of Oz is it talks about life. A lot of people don't think the Wizard of Oz is a story that is built in on any reality. They think it's just a nice fictional story. But a lot of people don't understand is when you look at behind some of the themes of the Wizard of Oz, you can see throughout the process that they're talking actually about life that was promulgating back then during the time of the movie in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It was given a social commentary on what life in America was like. And I started to think about the Wizard of Oz and how everybody wants to get to the promised land. You know, you're going to follow the yellow brick road to see the magical wizard that's going to change everything. You're looking for the magical wizard. But then Dorothy gets to the Emerald City. He goes and meets the all-powerful Oz. And then turns out, behind the scenes, the wizard wasn't nothing but a feeble, old, scared, disillusioned, fake narrative guru. And she realized that the power to change your life and the power to think on your own and the power to go out and control your own destiny lies within you, not some mythical wizard on a magical path. And if you look at this and you take a look as we talk about this, I noticed that there was a lot of analogies that really work here. When you dive into the meaning and the allegorical layer of the Wizard of Oz, it's far more than a whimsical story. It's a rich tapestry of symbolisms that reflect economic, political, and social issues of its time. Let's take a look at the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road represents the path to prosperity and success. But what does it lead to? Gold. In the late 19th century, gold standard was a hotly debated economic policy. It tied the value of currency, allowing people to exchange paper money for fixed amounts of gold. Dorothy's journey along the yellow brick road mirrors the quest for financial stability and the allure of gold. I take a look at the yellow brick road as an allegory to finding the quarterback. The yellow brick road is your culture. We need to change the culture. We need to draft this guy. We need to follow this guy. We need to follow, if you believe that they should take this guy at this, it's your road. It's a mythical narrative phrase that says, if you do X, Y, and Z, a mythical quarterback will come in and save you. It's no different than somebody saying, follow the yellow brick road and you'll become rich and all your dreams will come true. No, following the yellow brick road in the draft to go get a quarterback does not make your dreams come true. You take into consideration, what do you need to do to develop a quarterback? It's a myth. And you notice they use the draft and they talk into it as if it is a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale end all be all. We'll get our mythical shining quarterback, and this is the path to do it. The straw man. The character known as the straw man embodies the concept of the legal fiction. Here's a creation of the federal government bearing the same name as your birth certificate. Just like the straw man in legal proceedings, he lacks true existence, no breath of life. Instead of a brain, he receives a certificate, a legal status bestowed upon him. That sounds a lot like the media. The media is the straw man. I go back and paint the picture. Remember what I said a couple of minutes ago. I said the media is the only place that you can go that you don't have to have any sort of real knowledge, passion, creativity, or even a background to actually be part of. As a matter of fact, the status is bestowed upon by outlets. I say you're important because I told you you were. I say you're important because I gave you the right to write about it. I say you're important because I put you on the platform. But if you look at it, those characteristics aren't earned, right? Just like a straw man in a legal proceeding, it lacks true existence, no breath of life, and instead of a brain, it receives a certificate or a stamp of approval. The Tin Man. The Tin Man represents the dehumanizing effects of industrialized and mechanization. He works tirelessly, devoid of a heart or soul. His body seizes up, mirroring the soulless of a heartless system. The taxpayer number, TIN, a cold numerical identifier, parallels the Tin Man's lack of humanity. His masters keep him cold and emotionless, much like the modern worker, numb by routine and technology. This is the athlete. Remember, as I go back before, remember this. Rewind it if you didn't get to this part. We talk about people saying, oh, well, Shedeur has an opportunity now. Who cares what we said about him before? All that matters is he should be happy to have a conversation and be in the contention right now. This is the Tin Man is the allegory or the concept of the modern day athlete. The modern day athlete is seen as a machine, as an entertainment tool, as someone that does not have feelings, as somebody that don't have an opportunity to speak. It's the quintessential shut up and dribble. His masters keep him cold and emotionless. That's the way they want you. Cold and emotionless. We don't care what you do. We get to write what we want, and you're going to go out and perform because you are a product, not a person or project. Let's continue on. I know this may be too deep for some people. I get it. Some people say, this dude is wasting my time talking about the Wizard of Oz, but I'm just showing you that these things and these tropes and narratives have been here as tale as old as time. The Cowardly Lion symbolizes fear and inability to stand up for himself. He's a bully, a big mouth, but ultimately too frightened to assert his true power. His journey mirrors the struggle to overcome fear and find courage. In a broader context, the lion represents the American populace, often afraid to challenge authority and question the system. If you can't get that, your whole perspective is whack. The Cowardly Lion symbolizes the public who has been forced to sit here and feed and take this stuff. They don't question authority. They don't question the sources. They don't question, they digest, take it, and move along. It's the exact same reason somebody can say an unnamed source is more credible than a person who said it out their face that's on record about it, that played. But until today, We were too scared to say it. You better not talk about politics. You're getting too big for your britches. You know you're only one of them. We only let a couple of you in. Don't get beside yourself. We judge the narrative. The Cowardly Lion is the allegory for the public. In a broader context, the lion represents the American populace, often afraid to challenge authority or question the system. And that is today, boys and girls, is what we are doing, questioning the system. Sound familiar? Let's continue on. This is the biggest part. The wizard. The enigmatic Wizard of Oz embodies political leadership. He's a charlatan, much like a president of the United States. His illusion of power is shattered when Dorothy exposes him. Behind the curtain, he's just a showman manipulating levers, using tricks to maintain control. Sound familiar? The wizard's balloon beyond his control hints at the fragility of authority. As you see, they keep sitting here, puppet masters. The wizard behind the string be making people dance. And until you get the NFL to sign off on anything, you know what the syndicate is about. Are you telling me that they could sit around and systematically tell you whether or not you're going to be, they're going to get in the room and just collude? Yeah, they sure did. Ask Colin Kaepernick. Sure did. See, there's the thing called the internet. We understand that actually literally happened. So you can't use that plausible deniability here. But the problem for you guys is you believe that your authority was going to still stay intact after the ruse was up. After we pulled the curtain off and understood that there is no Oz. These culture wars that you guys are having are make-believe. These little points that you got that you talking, they're make-believe. You don't even believe it. You're behind the scenes pulling triggers and levers, making people think that the wizard is some big bad bully. And no. See, the problem is when people actually start telling the truth and people actually start to wake up, and when you actually start talking about the stuff that they tell you not to talk about, you become threatening. When you finally start talking about the stuff that people want you to not talk about, or look over there, there's a bright flamingo pic. No. We're going to stay right on task here. We're going to stay right on task. And a lot of you is not mad that you arguing back and forth. Is you mad that people had the nerve, the audacity to call you on it? Because you started to believe your own hype. In summary, The Wizard of Oz isn't merely a child's story. It's a subversive commentary on the world around us. As Dorothy seeks the way back to Kansas, we're reminded that the true power lies with us, not in the illusion created by those behind the curtain. So let's click our heels and remember, there's no place like home, and there's no wisdom like seeing through the smoke and mirrors of our own Oz-like institutions. And that is the rest of the story. As you can see, the scary thing about it is, it ain't scary. It's actually not very scary at all when you actually put the context to it. When you are able to tell people and you're able to see, oh, this is why this is going down. It's happened in every walk of life. This right here is something that's been going on since the beginning of time. And it will continue to go on. Because this is it. We are on the yellow brick road. Us. We are on a yellow brick road. But what you got to start realizing is if we done already unmasked the wizard as a fraud, let's stop being confused as to why he continues to be a fraud. If you know the wizard is not the wizard and he's some strange old dude behind a curtain doing a bunch of extra stuff, why are you still acting shocked every time he comes out and he's fraudulent? Stop having to learn the lesson. Stop having to get it. Because the escalation is only going to happen. I told you from Jump Street. Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson. I said they're going to all of a sudden in a minute, Deshaun Watson going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But let me show you what they were saying about Deshaun Watson before Shedeur Sanders got here. Let me give you that. They're like, dang, G. Bush, I didn't know they was that brutal. Oh, yeah. It's divide and conquer. It's coming. You're going to have to pick a side. But the Cleveland Browns had already stepped in front of that. Remember when I said, why is it crazy that nobody's heard our interview from Deshaun Watson? It's because that's by plan. When you give the least amount of information that you need to give, it leaves room for interpretation. And when you don't have the critical thinking skills to interpret correctly, it's the secret weapon. When there's no information out there, you're left to your own devices. Why do you think at a certain period of time, you say, I got a son. I don't know what age I'm going to start leaving him at home by himself. It's a sweet spot, right? You don't want him to be old enough and smart enough to be like, well, my mom left. I'm about to have all kind of girls in the house and I'm going to throw a party. That's too devious. You don't want him young enough to be like, my mom's gone. I wonder what this socket does over here and whether I can just, I want him to get on. I'm going to make myself a meal and turn the stove on. You're like, that's way too young. You want a nice little sweet spot where it's like, they're not corrupted enough to be old to be doing devious stuff, but they're not young enough to be doing silly stuff that's going to really put them in danger. You want them to be like 14. Because like when you're 14, you're not really about to do nothing crazy. I guess you could sit there and do a bunch of stuff, but you're not going to burn down the house, so you're probably not going to have no girls at the house. But what you do is you want to find a nice little sweet spot. And what the Cleveland Browns have done is find a nice little sweet spot of giving them some nice conversation and little tidbits and debunking everything that they said. But at the same time, not giving you enough for you to formulate any solid opinion. And then when they do that, they then look at you when you come out with this content and then you unmask yourself. That's the cold part about it. We don't need to unmask the wizard. If you let people talk long enough, they'll unmask themselves. They'll start to tell you what they think about you. Let some awkward silence be there for about 3 seconds. Ask a person a question and then just sit there. Human nature and the mind tells you, I got to fill that space with something. And pretty soon they'll tell you exactly what they're thinking. When the Cleveland Browns are silent and tells you, I don't know what they're going to do, and you have no case, now you're going to have to tell how you feel. Or you out yourself that you don't know what you're talking about. Whew. Maybe I don't know, man. I just try to give you like a little quick thought process of what it was. Sorry, I don't. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's get to these super chats. Let's get to them. Thelmo Fudd. Dog pound, go Browns. We appreciate you, Selmo. We appreciate you. And you know what's so crazy is I feel like every day I come back and we come back together and we conglomerate and we talk. Like, I feel like the more we educate people about how things move and work, there's less and less people that crash out. There are more and more people that are interested in actually talking about football and wanting to see football. And sometimes you have to do this before, you know, and I'm not using this specifically, but Cesar Millan, shout out to him. He always talks about breaking the cycle in your head. A lot of times he talks about, you know, there are certain things that can trigger dogs because it's instantaneous, right? So a lot of times as humans, we still have those things too. It's just human nature. So when something happens and it triggers you, it puts you in a whole nother situation where you're not even thinking rationally, you're just reacting. And that's the part that I want to get to is let me show y'all why they be doing this. And then so now when we get to the football, there won't be you gonna know it, because what I'm setting you up for is you got to understand the scrutiny today. But the scrutiny tomorrow is going to be even greater. When camp starts, that's going to be all out, knock down, drag out. Remember what I'm telling you today. On April 4th, just let you know I told you. Please be prepared for it. When that training camp comes, it is going to be the biggest story in the NFL. Let me say it again. When training camp starts right after this draft, the Cleveland Browns will be the biggest story in sports. The storyline creates itself. Deshaun Watson, the allegations, can he play again? The contract. What does he say? How is he talking? What is his health like? What does he think about Stefanski? What's your relationship with Deshaun? What's your relationship with Shedeur? How do you guys go back and forth? What's going on in the quarterback room? Todd Monken, new coach. What's going on with Shedeur? Do you think the back? It is the biggest story in the NFL. And what you got to realize is, how are you going to navigate the articles, and how are you going to navigate the fodder? Because if it was crazy before and Shedeur Sanders was not the number one quarterback, what do you think it's going to be like when he comes out in that first huddle? What do you think it's going to be like when he comes out in that first huddle? And I go to camp. Let me just tell you something. Shedeur Sanders as the number one quarterback in camp will sell a camp out. It will sell a camp out. He was already rock star status when it was last year and he was throwing the trash cans. It's going to be a line out the national news, local news, all the news. So what you need to understand is how the game works, how it's going down, and what you can do to disseminate what's going to come down the pipeline. Because I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be box office. And you got Dylan Gabriel in the room. You know the question's coming. Hey, do you think you got a fair shot? What's your relationship? Boy, this going to be crazy. And if you want the fresh cut on it, y'all at your boy G. Bush. I'm going to be at camp. I was at camp last year. Because trust me, you know the tracker coming back. You know the quarterback tracker coming back. So if you want to keep that, you want to know what's really going on, really locked in, hit me up. Become a member, because we're going to be breaking it down. We will be doing, I'm going to just let y'all know this right now. The days that we will be going to camp, we're going to be doing lives afterwards. So I'm going to be able to come in and give you exactly what it is. Nope. Not even. I was there at camp today. Stop. What did you say? Oh, yeah, you know, yeah, I thought Shedeur had a terrible day today. Deshaun was terrible. Dylan was cooking. No. I was there. So that's how we gonna get it. Beautifully blessed. Thank you so much for donating 5 Garrett Bush memberships in the barbershop. We appreciate you as well. Desmond Johnson, old Cleveland media, mad because they know things are changing and the access they used to have, you can tell is not the same. Some things will never change. That access is a funny thing. But the game always changed, though. You got to be willing to, and here's the thing. For the most part, that's what they're doing. That was also an undercover, sneaky part of what we was talking about today. Today, we really talked about, hey, look, a lot of people that are journalists are now have to get used to being in this opinion space. They have to get used to being in a space where people are like, and I said this before. I said, why is it that all of these people is upset about what other people are saying and pushing back to them? I've always given an example of why are you so angry and upset that somebody is a Shedeur Sanders fan and they going at you and saying different things? It's to a point where I feel like y'all almost outraged. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Y'all emotional about it. And I asked myself, I don't even notice them people. I'm sure there's people in the chat right now that be trolling. I don't acknowledge them. Hey, welcome on in. Hit the like button. But why y'all going taking this? And then it dawned on me. This is new to a lot of them. This is completely, think about it. This is completely new. Before, guys on the internet are used to it. I've been doing this since 2010 on the internet. So comment sections and interaction on places like that, that's always been there. But UCSS just came around. 92.3 The Fan just came around on the internet. ESPN Cleveland just came around on the internet. They haven't been there live streaming nothing. The streamers were the dudes that was live streaming. They may put some clips up. A lot of them didn't even invest it. I went to them a hand over fist saying, guys, why don't we have cameras in the studio? This is like 2012. So a lot of people just now is getting to that point where now they're seeing it, but they're not used to that. So I get why like they're confused that like, why are people doing? I'm like, bro, this is the internet. That's what happens. Anthony Fear. He says UCSS is unbearable without us. Jay and Dustin are so disingenuous. It's all about wins unless your quarterback who has the most wins. Now it's equal reps. Look, I always say it, bro. The one thing I pride myself on is, and I can only speak for myself, I pride myself on being able to have a show and be an entertainer. That's what I pride myself on. So wherever I'm at, my job is to deliver entertainment value. And sometimes when you deal in entertainment value, you got to think of it in multiple layers. Some days, and this is how I think, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight. Some days, if I come to the show, in real time, I'm trying to diagnose what the show needs. Some days I might need to be funny. Some days I might need to be lighthearted. Some days I might need to stand on business and be like, no, we're not about to do that today. Some days I might need to have me like a skit. Some days I might need to get people involved that be on the panel that may not be talkative. I noticed like, oh, you ain't said nothing. So I got to ask you a question. I might even be a lead host. So for me, in the entertainment game, it's all about what you need to bring to the table, right? It's entertainment. And the best part of what UCSS is, and I think, and I always tell people is, I don't want to lose that level of what makes it special. Is what makes it special is this. And what makes it viral is this. Is that you got people that are unscripted. The topics are not, you know, the topics that we talk about is topics that everybody else can't talk about. And you going to see people from different walks of life, different places, different ideologies, different socioeconomic backgrounds that is up there talking about real topics and getting to it. What they don't understand is, and this is for an overarching theme, for everybody big, this big picture. Ain't nobody trying to see no stuffiness, man. And this don't really got nothing to do with UCSS, like, at all. It has to do with the overarching theme. The way viewers are consuming things are different. People want authenticity. They don't want we don't care how many big words you gonna say. We don't care, like, this a new day. We don't care nothing about what you thought was the standard of how you deliver. Ain't anybody trying to hear that. What the article we read today. We'll put it back up for you. This is truthful. In some instances, social media influencers have greater audience trust levels than established mastheads. Media news trust varies by brand, but in a world troubled with misinformation, overall trust in Australia's media sits at a worrying 40%. Global trends are show worry signs in the legacy media, right? In Britain, data released by a media regulator showed a generational shift, with more people getting their news from online than TV for the first time since the 60s. If you want to get content, make it impactful, you better be real, because people see fake from a mile away. They see fake from a mile away. Anthony says, I wish every young man success. But Ty ain't better than Shedeur. So glad for the final cut show. Nothing wrong with being respectful yet unapologetically black. Of course. It's like I always tell people, look, man, my wife is Asian. Like, just because my wife is Asian doesn't mean I can't have an identity as a black person. And I've always thought, when people say, why does it always have to come to race? I don't go, like, if I went to, like, I don't know, Japan, and Japanese people have a culture, and they tell me about their culture, and I say, why does it have to always be about race? Well, I can't be bothered to learn about that person's culture. Like, why does that hurt you? I'll listen to anybody's culture. I love history. I love going back in time and figuring out where the common threads of humanity is. I love watching, just all kind of different thought processes on the story of humanity. Why would that make me offended that I'm learning about another culture? Wild work. You gotta ask yourself that. Why does that offend you? I don't get it. Chef Shay, I brought my 2 jersey already. Let's go. That 2 jersey, I told you, that 2 jersey is a thought process. I like it. I seen a video Deshaun was working out too with Jerry Judy. Everybody ready to battle. Everybody ready to battle. We're going to see. It's going to be an exciting summer. It's going to be an exciting summer. Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all ready for some football, man? Y'all ready for some football, man? I'm ready to get some of these young dudes on the field. Because I'm going to tell you this. I got a feeling about this year. I got a feeling that it's going to turn a lot of heads. I'm watching what Chase DeLauder is doing for the Guardians, hitting these home runs. And the excitement level that people got for the Cleveland Guardians, because Chase DeLauder is a young dude that's given an opportunity. And I was one of the people that kept saying, you keep talking about these prospects. You keep telling us about prospects. You keep telling them, but you're keeping them in the minors. You don't want to give them opportunity. The people that's up here in the majors is batting 196. But every single time we get to spring training, you keep sitting up here telling you baseball guys, he's not ready. 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 Girl, stop him. He's not ready. Sound like a Uncle Luke show. Sound like a 2 Live Crew beat. He's not ready. He's not ready. Who's ready then? I'd be like, dang, bro. Like, can we get behind somebody? And now all of a sudden, you just say, well, he's injured. We got to take it easy. Take it easy. He ain't ready. He hit 5, 6 home runs. Now, the city loves him. Of course they do. Because we starved to get some young, fresh, innovative thought processes and players that want to do something new. They ain't trying to sit up under you old, stuffy, congested, nasty work attitude about everything in sports. We ain't trying to do that no more. That may have been cool back in 97. But we trying to talk about some new stuff. We trying to get these wins. Man, I got 2 first-round picks. I'm about to add me 2 starters. We got a young core of players. We got a brand new coach that actually knows something about offense, not some JV offense that is a check down Charlie offense and ain't no good past the first 15 scripted plays. We got an opportunity to see something new, fresh. But every single time we talk about it, we know they're not going to be good. It's 2027. Think about this. Think about how crazy that sounds. I don't know if this is more disrespectful or just shows how dense people are. You got Myles Garrett. You got Denzel Ward. You got Carson Schlesinger. You got young Harold Fanning Jr. You got Junkins. You got contributors. And you guys are so a left field that you only care about the 2027 mythical draft of the promised land on the yellow brick road when you got all these other ball players that you can be talking about right now. You done fast forward. You don't care what Myles Garrett's going to do next year. You don't care what the offense, you don't care what Todd Monken's offense is going to look like. You only care about the mythical savior and some college kid that you whiffed on this year. You missed on all the guys you said was good this year. Now it's next year? Come on, bro. What kind of crazy stuff is that? Myles Garrett done broke the sack record. But you still keep talking about, and then you ask him, and this is how you know it's a big ruse. This is how you know it's fake wrestling. You ask him, well, what do you like about the said quarterback that you're thirsty for, that you don't care about this season in the Browns, but you're thirsty for this guy? And they'll say openly in your face, I don't know. I don't watch film. I'm not a scout. I'm just going by what other people have told me. Boy. Dog 9. How dare you call us on our hypocrisy? You should be grateful for the opportunity we've allowed you to have. Yeah, they're totally rage baiting. Come on. They're rage baiting. The opportunity you've given us. Actually, the most devastating part about it is, in the scheme of things, what you say doesn't matter at all. When you break it down, I mean, what we talking about don't matter. What do you mean should be lucky? You didn't give him the opportunity. You didn't take it away. You talk for a living. Legendary 12 fan, I'm disgusting how they lie. Mediocre whiteness in all its glory. It's a lot of medium sauce game. But they be throwing stuff out there. Patrick Williams, Anthony Jason, Mary Kay are the biggest gaslighters in the Cleveland media. They are pathetic. You know, I look at it from a perspective of that's the game we have to play today. But my goal is this. They can get it off now. Actually, they don't even really get it off. To be truthful, the game has changed so much that there's so many other people that'll hold them accountable that it's like there's no escaping it. That's why a lot of it gets really contentious because they on your head. They on your timeline, bro. They're not playing around with you. And when the season come back around and we start getting into that football, and that's one of the things that hurts. That's going to be tough. When Shedeur gets in the first huddle, that's scary season. Because at that point, that's why the whole goal, and be honest with you, the goal was to not let him play, period, or get an opportunity. And then they were going to be able to write him in a picture, in a way, put so much pressure that they would, that's why why do you think they always say this? And they tell on themselves every time. The talking points are rampant. They got to get rid of Deshaun and his contract. They should just cut him. Why? Because they don't want to see him play. They also can't say that they don't like Shedeur for some of the same reason they don't like Deshaun. With Deshaun is the contract and all the other stuff. Okay, well, you want him gone. What Shedeur is, he's a distraction, and I don't think he could be a second. You can't have him as a backup. He should be gone. Okay. So why do you keep telling on yourself? Like, you're not, it ain't about whether they can play or not. You just don't want them there. They should be gone. Okay. Miss Bell, what a way to try to flip their BS. They dogged Shedeur. They know they did, and it will never be forgotten. And for sure, we're going to all point all of those things out as they occur. That's the part that's kind of, now I try to give them an off-ramp. Remember what I said? Y'all get an off-ramp. You know, some people is getting real level-headed. You ain't really heard of them. You know. You can slowly pivot, because one thing that is true about the propaganda, it's another news cycle coming 2 weeks from now, 2 days from now, 1 hour from now. It's always a new story. CJ Jones became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you becoming a member. Welcome to the family. New Cleveland, the best thing to do is to not click on their videos. You know, sometimes I always compare it to this. In our political climate, remember, I used to literally study politics, right? Not from a perspective of, you know, I was going at this president or that president or whatever. You know what I started to realize is I actually started to realize the pattern in it. Because so much of the stuff that was happening was performative. It's all performative. It wasn't like he said, like they said, they pay a guy to come on and act like you feel this way. They pay another person to act like you feel this way. You know, the crazy part about it is I got into the industry, and when I found out that you be in meetings and they say, which side of the argument you want to argue? I said, what? So you guys literally picked a side? My worldview was shattered. Once I got behind the curtain to understand how the sausage was made, I didn't want to eat no hot dogs for a while. When you know how it's made and you know what's in it, it'll mess your whole perception up. That's why, in general, I love sitting here talking to you in an open forum. That's why I always tell people, I know y'all want me to say a bunch of stuff to everybody else and say it in but no, Like, that what me saying stuff in front of people, that serves no purpose. Now, I'm going to keep it real how I feel. And I ain't going to let you get away with no crazy stuff in front of me if I don't believe what you're saying. But in terms of me jumping up and down every single time somebody say something, that don't work because it's by default. That's what the game is. I said, what do you mean? What side of the argument I want to take? The one I believe. When that happened, I said, bro, Rodney do funny. It amazes me that the whole premise for the station is talking about Shedeur. It's really a Saturday Night Live production. I used to listen until I caught on. It's like, so when people say, I don't know why we got to continue to talk about him, I'm like, the whole economy is built around it. Somebody's like saying, hey, why we talk about the president so much? Because everything in your life is built around it. The laws, foreign policy, economic policy, kind of has a hand in it all. So the people sitting here saying, all you do is talk about Shedeur Sanders, he's the quarterback. They're going to have a quarterback competition. They have draft picks. They need to figure out who their quarterback is. What makes you think that we wouldn't talk about it? It's just the fact that we're not talking about it in the same way that you are, which is in a narrative-based, crazy, ridiculous trope. Terry Atwell, thank you so much for the super chat. Saw a clip of Hater Zach on UCSS downplaying Shedeur being in the building, putting in work, saying it's no big deal and the coaches don't care. Well, that would be funny if it wasn't true, but ask yourself this. Why did Todd Monken unsolicited tell you that? Did anybody ask you a question about that? No. Did anybody say, hey, what do you think? No, he just threw it out there. So it wouldn't be kind of crazy to say, wow, that's a thing. Remember, anonymous behind the scenes whispers is not going to be more impactful than what a coach says on the record in the camera. Same way they say, I don't necessarily means anything that he said that the Ravens try to draft Shedeur. All right, well, he has elite playmaking. I don't think it necessarily means anything that he said elite playmaking. Oh, I think he's a much better scrambler than give it credit for. I don't think that really means anything. Well, Myles Garrett said they're going to give him a chance. He's going to get the first serving. He ended the season. How are you going to pick your quarterback? Seems like Todd Monken says the same thing in the interview. How are you going to pick your quarterback? Well, we're going to have a lot to do with the way we left. So now are you going to go back and say that Myles? Okay. Just Desmond Johnson, Mary Kay, don't know ish about football. LOL, she ain't seen ish element, laughing my ass off. You already got 2 quarterbacks on rookie contracts. Make that make sense. Sometimes it don't have nothing to do. How do I put this? The way you want something sometimes doesn't need justification or rationale. Sometimes you just want what you want. I don't need a car. I don't need a new television. But I just went to the store, I saw it, and I want one. My wife is like, well, what is the reason? You got a TV here? I just want this one. It's the same when you talk about quarterbacks and players. There is no rationale reason why the Cleveland Browns should be even thinking about taking a quarterback in the first round, period. There's no rational sentence. There's no financial sense. There's no economic sense about it. Drafted Ty Simpson and making your team worse. Not being able to go get other pieces and parts because you drafted a quarterback. You got a cash cow financially. Your base is excited about. See, that's the thing too. People are misconstruing this. There is a disconnect about the way people feel about the team than the way people are presenting it. The Cleveland Browns are more popular today than they were prior to Shedeur Sanders being here. They have a much bigger, wide net of Browns people who digest content, who buy jerseys, who buy tickets, who want to watch the game than he was when he got here. It's unequivocal. It's been proven. The Browns brand is now stronger because he plays here. Why would you then arbitrarily say, let me take Ty Simpson and take a loss? I'm not about to, what? About to sell these jerseys. About to sell this stadium out, bro. And if he happens to be good, I'm laughing all the way straight to the bank. Jill DV1G1, thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you and welcome to the family. Desmond Johnson said, Ty couldn't beat Jalen out at Bama. Let's keep it real. The real reason why he left early is it was about the backup. He was about to be the backup to the freshman coming. No, facts. The dude that came in for him, he had a cannon on him. I said, who is this dude? They hit him with that? Hey, bro, you might want to go ahead and test the waters. I'm going to test these waters real quick. You know what I'm saying? Don't come back here. We would hate to do that to you. We would hate to do that to you. We don't want to talk portal game. J-Mac, we appreciate the super chat. J-Mac says, Draymond Green told us a couple years back that these kind of platforms are going to be the new media. And the legacy media laughed. Nah, it's COVID accelerated it. From a business standpoint and a case study standpoint, COVID accelerated it because for the first time, people started rethinking themselves. There's people saying, well, how special is that? I could do a podcast myself. Then players caught on. Say, wow, I don't got to sit at the desk and be stuffy. I've always had a problem with players who didn't talk like players. I don't like when players get to a national level or on a national syndicated show or television show and sit up there and sound like these dudes. Well, I think one of the things he wants to do is, he wants to, keep the ball out of harm's way. Don't turn the football over. Look for your tight end and just make sure that you can, don't hurt yourself. I think whoever wins the turnover battle is going to be one of the teams that's going to, if you don't shut up and stop talking like them, they put you on the show to talk like yourself. They put you up there because you are the plug. You are the expert. You understand the game. Talk your talk. Don't talk like them. We want you to talk like you talk. Give me that. Give me the real work. He can't be checked down Charlie today. Absolutely not. If he ain't throwing the football downfield, they're going to get cooked. All of this, keep the ball safe. Nah, that ain't what it's about. They want real talk, bro. You are the plug. You are the outlet. You are the energy. See, a lot of people don't be understanding what the worth is. A lot of people don't understand for years these folks done got rich off your backs. You had to go out there and play. And then when it came time to get an opportunity to talk about the game, they hired some dude that ain't never done it, never will do it, and it's half of what you is when it comes to your knowledge base. When it comes time to coach, they go get another dude that been cutting up film for 5 years. Ain't never done nothing, but yet and still somehow you ain't good enough to coach either. So how is it that I could play, but I can't be a GM because I don't know talent evaluation? I can't be an analyst because they need somebody to look good and be eye candy and another dude that says cliches the whole time. You better get, and you know what people start doing? I'm on the internet. Why we got to share our knowledge? I already got the relationships. I got the money. Go get you a microphone, a little camera, and some infrastructure and start cooking. Text your boys. I'm trying to jump on this podcast. Boom, boom, boom. That's how you get the pivot. That's how you get Cam Newton shows. That's how you get Gil's Arenas. Those shows are spawned by understanding what your true power is. David Walker says, say Mary Kay has begun the anybody but Shedeur narrative again. Alabama told him to enter the draft because he won't be the starter there. She's being called out for her 25 take and need to be relevant. I just think a lot of it is speculation, David. It's a lot of speculation, my guy. I think a lot of people is throwing stuff at the wall and they realize there's no downside to it. If she's, think about it. So hold on. Let me just, because I got to do this sometime. I want to remind y'all. I got to do this sometime. I got to do this sometimes. Just remind you real quick. Now, mind you, Daniel Fusi sheds light. But see, shout out to Daniel. He's been doing a lot of good articles and work. Seems to be getting a lot of scoops. Shout out to Daniel. Seems to be having a pulse on certain things. Seem like he understands what's going on, right? I'm just talking a little bit. Don't pay no attention to me. Don't even do it. Let's continue to move on. Let me see. I got a couple of things I want to remind you of. I got a couple things. Where we at? What we doing? Yeah, we're going to get to one. Here we go. Let's throw this out here. 30 million a year. Remember that? Remember Jordan Schultz was talking about that? Remember all this? Remember all of the Malik Willis conversation? Remember that? Remember all of the Richardson conversation? Remember all that good stuff? Remember that? You know, it's crazy to me, like, you know, now all of a sudden, we done all forgot about that. We done forgot. It's crazy. Where's all the quarterback conversation? Just seems like the Willises and all of that happened. What's the downside to it? What is the downside to throwing stuff out there? If you was wrong, you was wrong. What happened? Did you lose any money? Did they get kicked off out of the staff? Or no, there is no consequences to being wrong. Craig Johnson says some of the human race don't wish the culture to succeed. Been going on 400 years and counting. Mama didn't raise me to be no punching bag. Especially from regular people. I know how the world works. I know there's a hierarchy around this game. There's some people that really be like in high places that be putting the thumb on the scale a little bit. But you regular people, you will get called out. You have no control over what I'm doing. And you just gonna have to be upset. It's too regular people be thinking I'm regular and I can't. No, you can't. They fear Armageddon, G. If 2 is him, Black Angus, yeah, that's DEFCON 5. For some of y'all, If this dude is good, you might as well get ready. You might as well go ahead and just start covering the Colts or something. You might want to find a minute, the Lions or the Bills, somewhere around the Midwest. Bills, Minnesota. You might want to start covering. I'm telling you, that faucet is going to be cut off. Y'all better hope. One of the toughest spots was when Prime was there. That's when he showed up at the game. I said, "Oh goodness, it's going to be hard sledding for a couple people. It's going to be tough sledding." I don't even want to think about it. Thank you, G. Bush, for all the factual content that you do. I've never done well with the fluff or BS. I love this chat family. Always a healthy discussion. Well, thank you, Miss Bell. We appreciate you. You are a face that we love seeing. We love your unapologetic tell it like it is nature. And when you think about the CU aunties, I think you'd be on the Mount Rushmore. They know who you is. And you stand on business. So we appreciate it. And the thing that we like to do is, even if you a hater, you can't hate. I mean, what we do is we try to really educate y'all. We really try to give you that. Like, come on, bro. I mean, we just talked about the Wizard of Oz, man. I mean, come on, bro. You just got the only wizard we acknowledge is Kelly. JV too smooth. Number one is dropping knowledge like this. No one is dropping knowledge like this. That's also entertaining. I also love the new show Final Cut, Ty G. Bush, 100K subs, 2026 loading. Let's go from an NY fan. Carrie, Mr. Excitement, I appreciate you, man. We trying to really elevate the game, man. We really trying to listen. I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. There was a point in time where I used to look at this as a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta do this. I literally look forward to coming on Saturdays, being able to talk and meet with people and have this dialogue and conversation. I'm excited every single Saturday to come up with something different, something exciting, something new, something that's thought-provoking. Not to say I'm gonna get. I say, yeah, I did something last week. I got to come up with something this week. I'm always trying to challenge myself to come up with stuff because I love the platform. And look, I always say it ain't for everybody, but it's an energy level. It's energy. It's uplifting. It's therapeutic. It's funny. It's an engaging. And the best part about the show is y'all people. Is the people, the comments, the people, the interaction. Never forget that. Never forget. For anywhere, any platform. The number one thing is, did you take care of the people? Did you take care of the folks? Man, it's so hard in today's climate to get people to care about what you're saying, right? That to value what you're saying. But in order for them to value what you're saying, you got to value them. It's a value proposition. It's respect. It goes both ways. So for me, I'm very protective over those who watch the Barbershop, because to me, that logo right there stands for something. It stands for unapologetic truth. It stands for we gonna keep it 100. It stands for we gonna push the bar. We gonna innovate. We gonna wrap our arms around things. We gonna congratulate. We're gonna collaborate. That's what we about. And for me, like, I get excited because I just feel like the platform is now evolving to what the real purpose is. And that purpose is to tell stories, to show those stories, to shed light on certain things, man. Like, I'm excited for these next couple months. I'm gonna just say that. Because in these next couple months, hopefully the content that we putting out transcends are the Browns good today or are they bad tomorrow? I ain't really got no time to be set up here arguing with these folks, bro. I want to get to the source. I want to tell a story. I want to get to the story. We gonna talk so I'm excited, man. If you can't tell. So we appreciate you. If you want to become a member and a part of it, we interact and we talk about it. By the way, we've already started and we get to it. We are talking about doing a thing for members. A lot of people want meet and greets and stuff. I've been behind the scenes with my mom. I got to introduce you to my mom. She be doing a lot of, I feel like y'all know Rosie. I feel like we did a good job of introducing Rosie. Y'all know Zara. She be everywhere. I want to talk because my mom and dad come up with so many, as my partners, they come up with so many different concepts that they be just behind the scenes and they just be moving around. But there's a lot of things that's coming that I'm excited about. And we appreciate everybody want to be a part of it. Jeffrey Carson became a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Chef Shay said, remember what I said, Mary Kay gonna say it. Uncle Kai, been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Uncle Kai, and we appreciate you and your long-term support, Chef Shay. They already saying they're gonna change the tracker because of the reps. Told you. Hey, y'all welcome over there. See, I'm not a hater. I ain't a hater, but you welcome. You know how you got that tracker. You know how you got that. Craig Johnson, G. Bush got Brinks trunks full of receipts, and we cashing them in. Them Brinks trucks of receipts be like, boop, boop. But Craig Johnson, I'm gonna tell you what, and this is more of my goal. I cannot wait to when this season happens and they good. I cannot wait. I can't. Because, a lot of this stuff that we be doing is counterproductive. But can you imagine the level of electricity that's going to be throughout the city when they good? Because I'm going to tell you what, this is going to mark where everything in the NFL world is going to revolve around this. Get ready. Remember, I told you first. And it's a shame that some people don't have foresight. It's a shame that some people don't see the future and they don't see what it could be. They don't see some of the things that could be, that could really be special happenings here. And sometimes that vision ain't for everybody to get. And I know sometimes people will look at you and say, this dude, I heard people say, I done listened to G. Bush for years. But now he's some sort of zealot. I don't know what he's talking about. He used to be so level-headed. Sometimes your dreams can be so big that it means it outlives somebody else's expectations. So your dreams have become somebody else's just over-exaggerations. But when you see it and they don't see it, how can an eagle envision what a fish see? A fish living in the ocean don't even know it's a habitat outside of the water. That's wild. So how could he ever have a concept of an eagle soaring in the air? That's a foreign thought. Think about that. Not only does the eagle know about air, he also knows about water because the eagle sees him from miles away and dips in the water and gets the fish. It's all about perspective. And until you outside of the habitat, until you outside of your little environment, you'll never understand where everything coming from. All the fish know is I just got snatched up by something. To him, it might seem like a ghost. A fish can't ever see what an eagle sees. So I get it. Y'all be uncomfortable. Just like a fish out of water, flopping around, trying to, right? But I'm telling you though, when they start to hit, the city gonna be on fire. Businesses gonna boom. See, a lot of you people should be asking for this economic stimulus package. When LeBron James was here before, LeBron James single-handedly kept businesses afloat in Cleveland. Clubs, watch parties, bars, restaurants. 2016, it was jumping. Then guess what? When he left, all the finals runs stopped. All of the extra stopped. Now you could go to the flats, and the flats restaurants is closing up left and right. See, what y'all don't fail to realize, because, hey, maybe you don't really live in the city. That economic impact of the Cleveland Browns being good and energy around the player is a good thing. But that would mean that you would have to have an understanding of economic and inner city struggles and how that would work or care. We understand that. But when we hit, we came alive in 25, 26, we ain't gonna miss. I want my championships. I want my playoff games. I want to see a Cleveland Browns home playoff game. I don't want to talk about nobody else's teams. I might go on a strike this year. Don't ask me nothing about Josh Allen. Don't tell me nothing about Joe Burrow. We ain't trying to get to know Lamar Jackson, and I like all three of them players. If it ain't talking about my team, I ain't talking about it. Bring somebody else in. I ain't got no time for it. Bring somebody else. I'm talking about this team. I'm just let you guys know. This is what we're doing. When the season starts, get it all out your system. Because we're going to lock in on this football. We're going to lock in on this football. Blessings up. Peace. I Design 426. We appreciate you. We got 2 new special guests coming. By the way, if you're a member, we got a members only on Tuesday, members only on Thursday. Should we feature it? Who we got? Let me see who we got. Let me see. Make sure we got this. I want to pub it, so we give you an opportunity. Give you that opportunity that if you want to be part of it, you can pull up. Let me see. Who we got on? We got it. Hold on. See. Let me see. See who we got. We got. We got Chef Zay coming up. We got Chef Zay, Thursday, 6 p.m. Let's build. Chef Zay, he's on Thursday, 6 p.m. Let me see who else I got on Tuesday. We want to be clear. Let's see. Where we at? Hold on. We got Money Man. Shout out to them brothers on Twitter. Money Man. And shout out to them on YouTube. He's going to be on Tuesday. That's Thursday? Yeah. Oh, okay. So here we got a full schedule planned out for y'all. So we got Chef Zay on Thursday. Tuesday, we got Money Man. Make sure you go check out and subscribe to them channels. On Wednesday, we back at it with the final cut. Darren Smith is in the building. KLKC, Kansas City in the building. He gonna be in the building with the boys. Me, Earl, Tyvis, and special guest Darren Smith on Wednesday. No one's doing it bigger. No one's doing it more consistent. You want that content? By the way, check out, I got a clothing blog up right now. I got about a couple more food blogs up. Make sure you go support them. And by the way, the next week after that, on the next Wednesday, Sean King will be on the final cut. Talking draft. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Come on now. Come on now. Uncle Kai, I think the old Cleveland fans would take what the media said and run with it. But the new Cleveland fans are different. We're not doing it. We're not playing them games. We're not doing it. Support your squad, man. Support your team. Guys running around here fast forwarding whole seasons. Who told you could fast forward the season? Run around here telling us about 2027. You better leave us alone. You go tell that to them other folks. We not trying to hear that. 2027. It's funny. You talk about 2027. We got 2 first-round draft picks in this draft. You won't even talk about the draft. Talk about the 27 draft. You don't want to talk about the 26 one? Thought that was going to be the one. Come on, man. Playing around with me. David Walker, this is why old Cleveland is mad, because Shedeur is a strong black man and has another culture of people that he can identify with. Get ready, because 2 is here. Hashtag New Cleveland. It's a different generation. It's a different generation. Who consumes this, you know it's different because they're like, I'm confused. I've never seen this in 25 years. Well, it's a new day. It's a brand new day. Get down or lay down. What it's going to be. I told you we're trying to free you up. We get you together. I'll write you a recommendation to the Arizona Cardinals. Hey, man. Denver Broncos, I'll give you a nice little recommendation letter. Yeah, come on. May you cover them. Riz hung up on Grossi Monday, then said Grossi only saying he's okay with 2 starting to keep the aunties off his ass. Then Riz was unexpectedly off Tuesday. Shout out to them over there. You know what I'm saying? All of us, hey, listen, we got some good theater. I will say that. We got some good theater. You know what I do want to do? I think the #1 show in the city would be this. Somebody hit G. Bush up. Somebody hit G. Bush up for this. If you are a television series, if you're a reality series, hit me up. I got an idea. You know how they had the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or Real House Husbands of LA, or the Preachers of LA, or Jersey Shore, or The Real World, Road Rules, Survivor, The Bachelor? Well, this is from the creator of all those. Picture this. Have me chilling. Picture me rolling now. Sit with me. This is the creative genius mind of Fifth Dimension Media. Tell me would you watch this show? And if you steal it, I already got it here. You can't steal my concept of the show, so you better put me on it. I already get to be executive producer. Stop playing around with it. But let me know in the chat, would you watch this? So my thing is, it's called The Real Media of Cleveland. And what we do is for 3 months, we are all in one house. One house. And the goal is it's reality TV. We go in and we all live in one house and we do these challenges. But these challenges are around media things. So they would give us different things like, all right, we're going to have an elimination. It is based on who write the best article. We're going to have elimination on who can have the best rant. We got an elimination on who can do the 12 o'clock news the best. We got an elimination based on how many people you get to listen to your podcast or sell merch, or you got to go engage people in the immunity line. We do all these little challenges, but the cool thing about it is, you got to introduce things. They're like, oh, you can gamble? Oh, they have alcohol in the house? What? And then you get people from all different walks of life. Wouldn't you love to see me, maybe Mary Kay, Tony Grossi, Adam the Bull, Jason Lloyd, Aaron Goldhammer, Tony Rizzo, Emmett, Gerard, Peterlin, Nick Wilson, Dustin? You wouldn't want to see us all in the house doing challenges? And then we would have to split up in teams and do team challenges, and then somebody gets voted off. The real media of Cleveland. Are you serious? Are you serious? Can you imagine the drama? You got to have Jay Crawford in there. Do you imagine the ego? And you got to imagine somebody stirring the pot like G. Bush. If you think UCSS was crazy, you ain't seen nothing. Everybody in the house, in the confessional, you know what? That guy always thought he was smarter than what he was. Do you really have sources? Do you ever really sources? Dude, G. Bush, you're a pander. Boy, somebody tell me in the chat, would you watch that? I'd watch it. Let me know. Don't you steal it. I'm telling you that. Don't you steal it. All right. I'm going to continue going. Selmo, G. Bush, the Cavs clinch a playoff berth. Once again, all we do is win. Hey, season coming up. Shout out to the Cavs. I would rather, I'm definitely trying to see Detroit. You think they're going to do the 4 seed or move up to the 3rd seed? I'm definitely trying to see Detroit. DB Dog, what gets me is the narrative. Shedeur could be a good quarterback in this league, just not in Cleveland. Browns don't have time to wait on him to get good. If you think that he will be good eventually, why can't the light come on this season? Because it's wishful thinking. Like, again, when you say we don't have time, they're saying that. They're not. It's not something somebody had told them. That's their preconceived notions. They don't have time to wait. But then you said you would get rid of the whole room, then get a veteran quarterback you know ain't good, so you can get to the 27th draft. Thought you didn't have time to wait. All right. Sapper Daddy, if Shedeur balls out this year, everyone except you, UG, and Rizzo would have fully lost their credibility. Okay, he's pushing a quarterback at 6. Jason's trying to pass blame to sources, and others want AB to fail. Yeah, it'd be kind of tough out here. Now, here's the way it could work. I mean, eventually there's a segment of the population that would try to forget about it, and they would, because that's people's mindset. But there's a segment of the population that would never forget it, because they would just always be like, no, you tried it, doesn't work. I hate narrative. Speak your truth, set you free. At the pub, we appreciate you. I was talking about 92.3 and UCSS. Rodney do funny. Yeah, I think we was talking about that. Yeah, 92 and 3 UCSS. Shout out to both of them, by the way. Simply Stephanie, the college quarterbacks are running quarterbacks And the NFL doesn't want running quarterbacks. It changes how the defense plays. I'm going to take me a running quarterback. Lamar Jackson did pretty well for himself. Loving Life, thank you so much for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Sapper Daddy says, Todd Monken is already up. Boy, you picked it up, Sapper Daddy. Todd Monken is already sick of the media. They haven't even asked the man one question about his offensive scheme or what he likes in the draft. They keep talking about the horse head, bro. It's cringe. Oh, my gosh. It's weird, man. Don't be that guy, bro. Oh, it's so cringeworthy. Stop asking that man. He knows, guys. He's seen The Godfather. You're not the first person to use that. And that is not a talking point, man. This dude is looking at y'all like, y'all cats is kind of off kilter. What are you doing? Why do you keep asking about this horse head thing? Like, he's tired of it. He looking like, y'all cats is corny. Don't do it. If you get a chance to talk to Todd Monken, please. It's almost embarrassing to a point I can't watch it. Because it's like so cringe. Stop asking and thinking you're going to get some sort of joke, laugh about this horse head. It's been run down. It's been burned. It's been trampled. It's already been used. Find something else to talk about. Maybe ask him about what plans he has for Jerry Jeudy and his skill set. Can Quinshon Judkins do you like another? Man, it's just nasty, bro. Sapper Dad, you caught that. I turn it off immediately because it gets in my bones. I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand really corny stuff like that. I'm telling you, if they go wide receiver at 6 and 24 left tackle, then you know Sanders is a starter and they are pulling the Bears plan from last year. If they do that, that's going to be difficult to deal with because if you do that, they're going to be better. The Browns are not that far away, people. They ain't that far away. They keep trying to tell y'all that, but they didn't retool the whole offensive line. They get a couple. Listen, if they have another draft like they got, they at least going to be very entertaining. Where no one's accountable, credibility is lost. That's super facts. And the internet going to hold you accountable. I know back in the day, you could just write stuff and disappear. You got to think about it. Back in the day, you just wrote an article. How do you know if people liked your article or didn't? It wasn't like they were online. They were in a newspaper. So you put it out. People read it. But there was no like, this is a dumb article. It was just what you wrote. Now it's different. Ms. Melanie said, I stopped listening to legacy media during COVID. Podcasters got the info and told us how to prepare, and you called it out 2 to 3 months ago. I mean, I be wrong sometimes, but some of the stuff that y'all like, bro, y'all was swimming. Miss Bell says, you didn't read my thank you to Rosie. Thanks, Rosie. Is that Rosie? Is that considered your super chat? Yes. All right, man. Yeah. Shout out to Rosie out here moving around. Patrick William G. Bush, when you setting up the meet and greet? We are in the plans. You know me, I don't never say nothing unless it's factual. We plan it out. First of all, we got to make sure it's logistically set up correct. We got to make sure, first and foremost, that we have the proper etiquette security, and that it is properly set up, it's professional, and that it gives people a real opportunity who really want to be a part of it, Not no trolls or no riff-raff stuff, not nobody pulling up doing all kind of other. Nowadays, you got to be discreet. you got to be legit, and you got to actually have some things in place where everything goes off smoothly. So for me, it's not something I would do fly by night. It would be something that we be planned in conjunction with other larger bodies that would make sure that we are secure and that people gonna have a fun, safe, cool environment, and that where we can have a good conversation and talk and do some things. But we got to make sure that it's so everything's on the up and up. Because first and foremost, my whole thought process is I'm thinking about safety. I'm thinking about logistics. I'm thinking about how we could get people. I don't play no games when it comes to certain things. So we had to be buttoned up and ready to go to do it. But those things are taking place. Eric ATL, propaganda news is old news. We have to research our own. Thanks, G. Bush. Thank you. And we appreciate the super chat. That's exactly what you got to do. Always remember, I'll always say this. We don't have mindless people over here. I like the novel Dune. The novel Dune, books are a tough read, by the way. There's some high-level reading. It'd be confusing, too. But Dune is a cautionary tale about charismatic leaders. It's a cautionary tale about blindly following anybody. Even if you like the way I talk. So what? Your job is to make sure that what I'm saying is accurate, and I ain't none lost my whole mind, and you formulate your own opinion, and you do the research. Don't come up here blindly pledging allegiance to nobody, including me. That's why the barbershop means something. We're not doing that. No. Going back to the 90s, Cleveland media only had to fuss about the teams, but did no outside research. That always killed me. New now fans are more informed through the internet. I think it's killing old media. It's a natural check. See, the media's job is to be a check on power. The media's job is to be a check on. It is a natural. It is something that's supposed to be important in the scheme of things. The way the media goes about telling and reporting to the people. But the problem is when the media does not report to people and they get lazy and don't have the level of accuracy behind what they're trying to say and do the critical thinking, you're going to be in trouble. Because any institution that does not have checks will automatically fall under its own weight. Any institution, church, politicians, media, businesses, all the above. All of those institutions must have checks and balances. Unchecked power, unchecked, just unbridled, I do what I want, is always corruptible. It always is. Beautifully blessed G, you did your thing with this one, buddy. I'm in love with the new Cleveland and ecstatic to the new show. Can't wait for it to blow up. Barbershop final cut. Here we come. Beautifully blessed. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And what we try to do is we're just trying to get the people good content. And another thing that I try to do is one of the things that I want to do in a barbershop is shed light on other people. Shed light on other people's skills. Give them an opportunity to show and grow their rings and spread their wings. You see me? I don't got to do a lot of talking on every show. That's not my goal. When I bring other people on the platform, my goal ain't to come over here and overtalk nobody and have you sitting hostage as I talk. And if you want to hear me talk, I do it pretty well on 3 hours by myself on Saturday. But what I try to do is give other people other perspective. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Tyvis got to say. Underutilized. I really feel in this industry, there are people around here that are being underutilized. You got a guy that played for 9, 10 sports, He worked for Ohio State in the NIL and recruiting guys like Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. He done worked on the Big Ten Network, still work on the Big Ten Network. Duke Browns are like underutilized. Why would I be talking about you? Why would I be talking to you about what you done heard when I could, the dude sitting right here, I asked him about all kind of players in the league right now. Underutilized. We got Earl. He did cover the Cavs. He do engineering. He produces. He got a perspective. He from the city. Came up through the ranks. Why underutilized? Got a different perspective. Underutilized. Bad job out of y'all. A lot of cats. Don King. Super Bowl champ. Super Bowl champion. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Offensive coordinator for USF. Worked on ESPN before. Underutilized. Why we got these? Why we got these Johnny Come Latelys on, bro? How is it that these dudes done walked off the street corners talking this nonsense, but they get up? No. I told people all the time, we the draw. We talk that sports, we talk that culture. But it's time out for people getting pushed to the side like, oh, actually, we're going to show you. That's the draw. Underutilized. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring light to other people. And then they take that and go build and establish their own brand so that they can go out and control their own narrative. Control their own situation. That's why we continue to bring people on. That's why we continue that Darren's going to be on Wednesday. Because we're going to bring forward these conversations. I ain't got to talk all the time. I'm trying to shed light on other people. Because when I got in the game, I had to answer phones for 7 years before I even got a shot. Why would I have to answer phones for 7 years and then the next people come up underneath me don't get no shots? That's like, think about it. Think about how crazy it would be if like Harriet Tubman was leading people from slavery. She died. God brought her back 100 years later, and she found out that we were still in slavery. She would be like, what? I made all them trips back then for what? For us to still be at the same place today? Think about if Rosa Parks was like, she came back today, God brought her back today, and she's sitting on a bus, and black people still sitting in the back of the bus. She'd be like, well, what did I do that for all the times in the civil rights movement? No. It should, no. No. Guys out here is running around. People use it. Oh, you should be working for free. No. No, you should be working for free. You should not be working for free. Nobody. If they telling you you're going to have to work for free to get your foot in the door, they robbing you. They using your clout. They're using your skill set. They're using your culture. They're using all of your skill sets up. And then when it comes time to compensate you, it's, well, it ain't never in the budget. No. Absolutely not. That was working in 2008 and 2009. It don't happen here. I'm passionate about it. When you come on my platform, I don't ask people to come on my platform for free. I don't come on here and say, come on in to get this exposure. I come on here, that's bare minimum. If you want to expose, that's bare minimum. But I'm going to compensate you for your time. That's, to me, ethical behavior. I feel it's unethical to use somebody to come on with their content. Now, if you guys is all at the same situation and, hey, we trying to make it less, I ain't got no money, you ain't got no money. Okay, that make a little sense, right? We going to try to help each other and barter. Hey, you come on my podcast, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't saying that. What I'm saying, though, is if you establishing you in the game, you're supposed to be showing people love. You're supposed to be putting on. Everybody want to talk about, oh, big bro this, big bro. No, big bros actually sacrifice. Big bros actually like put some stuff in the game. Sometimes big bros got to pull up when, hey, you might not have no crazy platform with thousands of people. But if you're going to say you a big bro, you're not going to help. Listen, you ain't going to shed no light on it. See, I don't want to get too far down the thing, but there's a lot of times where people be doing that stuff, and that kind of stuff where you be gatekeeping, you don't want to put nobody else on. That is the reason why they can pay one of us all this money and then nobody else get no bread, because they don't gonna let you one or two you in the game anyway. See, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. I ain't want to go. I'm sorry, Rosie. I didn't mean to get on that. She's oh man. Booch Wyatt. You cooking, I'm grinding these haircuts, so I'm running the live back. Keep your foot on their necks, wrist up. We appreciate you. Keep cutting them folks up too. Oh, and by the way, that too is already bought. Hey, I can't wait to see all of them viral videos when them 2 jerseys get to hitting. Because you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Neil Gray says, offense, and more offense. Wide receiver, offensive line, running back, unless the next Myles Garrett or his replacement is in the draft. We can use another running back. I'm with you. Don't let me get Jeremiah Love. I get Jeremiah Love and draft a receiver in the first pick or the second pick. Give me Jeremiah Love and a receiver at 24. I'll go get a lineman in the second round. Come on now. KCM 2 is the Black Brady, and they know it. Black Brady is crazy. How Darren Smith become a member? That's crazy work. How you become a member, Darren? Like you could have just. He was already a member. He was already. Darren, you was already a member, dog. He done became a member here on the show. Come on, man. But I appreciate you, bro. Hey, yo, Brownstown TV. Hey, yo, G. Bush, I do videos too. And I just wanted you to know, if you could email or DM me your upload schedule so I can stay out of your your LOL. Dang, you flooding them, ain't you? Much love, bro. Go Browns. Brownstown. Shout out to you, man. Hit me up, fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com, fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. We got to make sure we hit the Brownstown. We're going to subscribe, show love. You're definitely going to do that. Stel Mofa, yo, G. Bush, I wish, I would like to see you do a collab with a Cleveland native. His name is Off the Record. Hopefully you can make it happen. Appreciate you, big dog. You know, every time y'all be saying this, I just put them, hey, we working our way down the list, right? Off the record. Rosie will write it down. We deliver. We deliver, man. You got any suggestions? Hit us up. Saying so, seeing them wanting a right tackle, quarterback, or running back at number 6 is tiring. And I need a if we can get a wide receiver. Saying so, we've been talking. You've been long. By the way, saying so, long time member of the channel. He been rocking with me back before. He was back with the Baker times. We've been asked, how long saying so? We've been asking for a receiver around here. We've been asking for a receiver around here for years. And we still can't find a way to get one. If Shedeur unites Cleveland like Philip the Great of Macedonia. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. This sounds like Yoshi Doshi. Philip the Great of Macedonia united the Greek city-states will immediately explode. Here's what will happen. Before they even gets there, let me tell you how the media works. The flip will always happen. By the time we get to training camp, because if you notice what Todd Monken said, he said, can somebody lock down the position of quarterback before camp starts? He said, yeah. If he locks down the quarterback position, the whole narrative will flip. When that happens, they will actually start talking about other parts of the team. They'll actually start talking about football, because what that signifies to them is we're barking up the wrong tree. We need to actually get into football mode, and it's not going to look good if we still talk about narrative-based stuff when that happens. Because the thing that you can't do is lose market share. The thing you cannot do is lose. You can't lose market share. Can't happen. Let's get to another one. Where am I? Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, here it is. Funny, but the Cleveland media asks questions like a reality show. They ask questions about the talent of the players. What does he like about them? You know, football questions. They ask everything but football questions. That's why if I ever got an opportunity to have the conversations, I would not be talking about this stuff. I do not want to talk about none of this stuff to me. Marie, born and raised in Cleveland, live in Kansas City now, out here repping the Browns. We appreciate you. Thank you, G. Bush, for always keeping it a buck. Always love you. Rosie, Tyvis, and Earl. Thank you so much. We appreciate the love. We appreciate you guys. And continue to support us out there in Kansas City. You keep cooking behind enemy lines. We appreciate that. We're gonna hold you down. Revs L Guess. I just love the fact that you highlight and allow other people to shine. Your insightfulness is of epic proportions. Love the shows and what you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You know, I just try to continue to come out here and to try to elevate and to try to, you know, give you thought-provoking content and to a lot of people, they will say they want to, oh, I'm trying to help people. All right, man, you really want to, like, you really trying to help somebody, or is that just what you're saying? And I feel like if you're not really showing that work, the Bible always talks about your fruit will show whether or not you have the heart of what Christ wants you to do. Your fruit, what you do, will bear it out. Not just what you say, it's what you see, right? So if you don't see me with nobody, you don't see me collaborating with nobody, you don't see me trying to do the right stuff, then that's just talk. Christopher Robbins, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. It's my birthday. I need that barbershop shirt. I like that too. Well, there you go. We're going to get that ready. And you know what kind of shirt you're going to get? It's the shirt right there. Let them know it's good quality, people. It's good quality. You get the Barbershop Super Chatter today. By the way, we will do the Super Chatter today. And Rosie will end up picking out the Super Chatter today. But Mr. Robbins, we will get you the T-shirt. Send us your size, your information to fifthdimensionmedia1 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 Also, while Rosie is getting that, let's give you this. As always, the Barbershop is brought to you by Phenomenal Barbershop. If you want to cut, you want to keep it clean where G. Bush is, hit my man Jason up to book an appointment. 216-385-8861. 216-385-8861. It's just not for men, it's for ladies. You know, it's a clean environment. They don't do any cursing. They don't do no extra. You can come in, the whole family get together. He has 9 whole other beauty salon stations where everybody can get taken care of. And it's at, make sure you definitely hit us up at Phenomenal Barbershop. It's at 11827 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio, 44107. You can schedule and book an appointment. It's easy. You can use the app, and you can get your appointment today, be in and out in the middle of the day. Maybe you need to get yourself together for a meeting. It's quick and easy. And as always, the official barbershop of the barbershop is Phenomenal Barbershop. If you are in sponsor of the show, you can definitely hit us up at fifthdimensionmedia1 at gmail.com, fifthdimensionmedia1 at gmail.com. Let's get to Rosie B. After we get one more in here. The pub, it is just the new handles. We the wolves and we hungry. I told you. See, this is how I know. I know by your, this is what I'm saying. I just know how you would, the tweet, I said, that's my man's. That's Yoshi. Yeah. That's them over there. That was too layered. It was too history buff to not be you. All right, Rosie B, what do we got as our super chat of the day? Well, there you go. She chose the pub. Shout out to Yoshi Doshi, by the way. I love the fact that it was a history buff because I was doing a history buff major. Shout out. So if Shedeur Sanders unites Cleveland like Philip the Great of Macedonian united the Greek city-states, will the media explode? Obviously, yes, they will. And I think some of them will definitely turn over and turn a new leaf. You're already starting to see it right now. You're already starting to see it. And of course, the only place you can get gear, and the only place you can get gear, and the only place you can get gear and free merch and things like that, and I get you a gift every single year, is here on the Barbershop. If you want to become a member, hit the join button. Access, members only. You ain't going to want to miss the film review. Yeah, the members only conversation in the chat. Don't forget about this. Coming up, we have the draft party popping. We will have a draft party live. So hang out with G. Bush. We will be going through all the picks in the first round right here on the Barbershop. Make sure you understand where you're going to be at and continue to support the channel. We will get your birthday shirt out to you guys as well. And we definitely appreciate you. And with that being said, you never know what G. Bush might show up. Radio, television, internet, but if you want the fresh cut on sports, you know what it is. I keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, you know how we give it up. Hashtag New Cleveland, Kool-Aid Mafia for life. And as always, go Browns.